corpse was missing its face. It's an epidemic around here, a bad habit this town has with its murder-suicides. It's not enough for somebody to shove a knife through a rib cage and suck back on a 12-gauge anymore. Now everybody has to be original, unique. They've got to peel off their victim's face, then scarf it down like skin jerky before slashing their own throats. Do you know how long it takes to bleed out after cutting your carotid artery? Not long. 30 seconds maybe. A minute if you're really unlucky. That's not a lot of time to stage an arrest, to interrogate a murderer. It's not a lot of time to parse through the mental quagmire that drives an individual to carve off a face and swallow it whole. It just isn't. So I've had to make do. I've spent the last 3 decades digging through old case files and buried corpses. First, as an inquisitor for the Order of Alice, then freelance, after they terminated me for being psychologically unfit and operationally unsound, whatever that means. But across all my research, all my interviews, I couldn't find a single solid lead. Not one. Until tonight. Enter Jonah, 17, top of his class, captain of the football team, and shoo-in for valedictorian. It's like the brat walked out of a Hallmark movie. Well, except for that bit where he ate his father's face. But then, no one's perfect. And as good as he was at everything else in life, Jonah wasn't much when it came to suicide. Lacked the follow-through, you might say. He didn't sever his jugular so much as dramatically nick it. Deep enough to pass out from blood loss, but shallow enough that the paramedics were able to salvage his life. And surviving? That was Jonah's biggest mistake. Because now he's all mine. I've never cared much for hospitals. It's a combination of the sterile fluorescence and the way the air smells like chemical warfare, and the way everywhere you look, it's either more clutter or abject emptiness. Maybe that's why Jonah looks so unnerved when I open the door. It's my expression, bitter, repulsed. Only it's hard not to feel this way. Hospitals make me think of my sister. And my sister makes me think of things I'm better off forgetting. "Who are you?" Jonah croaks. He's propped up in his bed like a mummy, bandages strangling his throat, chest buried beneath a pile of baby blue blankets. I close the door behind me and lock it. He asks the same question. It sounds even more painful the second time around, but I still don't answer. Instead, I cross the room, unbuttoning my jacket before draping it over his bedside chair with a cough. Then I take a seat. All the while, he's staring at me like I'm a hallucination, some drug-induced fever dream. Tough to blame him. After all, it's the middle of the night. A stranger just walked into his room wearing a black suit and a scowl, carrying the kind of briefcase that screams bad news. He probably thinks I'm here to audit his health insurance. That, or snatch his kidneys. But I've got worse things on my mind. I crack my briefcase, rifle through an ocean of reports, 30 years of case files. The Order wanted them back when they terminated me 3 years ago, but I told them to fuck off. This research is mine. I pull my clipboard from the bottom of the mess, attach a 33A interrogation record, the kind of form that determines whether someone's possessed, cursed, or just garden-variety homicidal. My pen clicks. I scribble the kid's name up top. He tries to speak again, but only manages to wheeze. It takes him a minute to push words past the staples in his throat, which suits me fine. I'm busy cataloging details: pupil dilation, chestnut hair, stubbled jaw, the ear-tugging tic that screams anxiety. Then I categorize bullshit that's too dull to describe: age, location. "Are you with?" Jonah grimaces. It probably feels like throwing up asphalt every time he speaks. "Are you with the police?" I look up from my report, meet his eyes for the first time, just to let him know I see him, that I hear him. Then I go back to the clipboard. See, the secret nobody tells you about conversations is, it's not about what you say, but what you don't. The only thing more agonizing than being spoken to is being ignored. So that's just what I do. I make the kid an afterthought, a chore I'll get to when I find the time. And right on schedule, he starts to break. He lurches up in his bed, hits the call button. Once, twice, then he starts hammering it. Only nobody is coming, because I'm good at my job.
Nurse!
He wheezes.
Hello?
The nurse isn't coming, I mutter, scratching down the last of his tombstone data. Neither is security. Turns out, chloroform's pretty cheap when you buy it in bulk. A smirk slips across my lips. And considering this entire wing is empty, you'd be better off saving what's left of your voice for my questions. His eyes widen, horrified. They snap to the locked door, then to the handcuff chaining him to the bed. He gives it a feeble rattle, confirming what I already know. He's not going anywhere. Not until I'm finished with him.
Who the hell are you?
An inquisitor. His face screws up with confusion.
A what?
To put it simply, I lean forward, cutting my voice to a whisper.
I'm the guy you call when the monster under your bed needs to be euthanized.
His heart monitor starts to sing, picking up speed like a steam engine. That's good. Fear makes people honest. I pull out my pocket watch, snap it open. It's an old Victorian thing, uglier than burnt toast, but standard issue for those in my line of work. Once upon a time, the face glowed with occult sigils, displayed threat data, and acted as a direct line to the Order of Alice, like a sort of nightmare Pokedex. Now, it just tells time, the kind I'm running out of. Hate to rush things, I say, pressing my pen to the clipboard, but I'm operating on a pretty strict schedule here. Gonna need to wrap introductions and start the interview.
Interview?
Yes. He opens his mouth like he wants to keep wasting my time, so I shift in my seat, give him a good look at the magnum strapped to my waist.
Jesus, you brought a gun?
Of course I did. Tell me, what do you know about the no thing? The color drains from his face. If he looked scared before, now he looks terrified. I've read the police reports, kid. You told them a monster convinced you to murder your father and eat his face, and only one urban legend supports that framework.
The psychiatrist said it was psychosis.
He croaks.
That I imagined it.
I almost laugh.
Psychosis?
I've been tracking this monster for 30 years. I can assure you that it's very real, and more likely than not, coming back to finish the job.
Finish the job?
That's right. The no thing doesn't leave survivors, and that makes you a mistake in need of correction. His beeping pulse kicks into overdrive.
And you can help me?
I'm the only person who can help you, but I need information, data I can use to. A cough erupts from my throat, then another. It's all blood and phlegm and worse. By the time I'm finished wiping my lips, the kid's looking at me like we should trade places.
You're sick?
We're all sick. I reach inside my jacket, fish out a pack of cigarettes, and slip one between my teeth and light it on fire.
It's leukemia, isn't it? My mom had it too. I recognize those coughing fits. You really shouldn't be smoking.
I blow smoke in his direction. Probably not. He grimaces, and I ash the cigarette on the floor. First question, I tell him. How'd the no thing convince you to murder your old man? Jonah pays the locked door one final glance, then bows his head in resignation. He's finally getting the picture, that we aren't done until I say we're done.
I don't know,
he says slowly.
It's murky. Hard to remember. But it wasn't my fault. You gotta believe that at least. I wouldn't. I'd never.
Relax. This isn't a trial. And if it was, I'd acquit you. I meet his eyes. You're a victim as far as I'm concerned. No different than all the others the no things turned into murderers. No different than my sister.
Your sister?
I nod, chest tightening. Adelaide. She died 40 years ago. The first victim of the no thing.
Oh, God. I'm so sorry.
I'm not looking for sympathy, kid. I'm looking for a name.
But...
I lift a hand, cut him off. Save your breath. I already know the legend. You figure out its name, Then it comes to kill you at midnight. I don't care. Frankly, I'm counting on it.
Wait,
He sputters.
you want this thing to come after you?
More than anything, yes. He stares at me, expression caught between confusion and horror. I'm 46 next Sunday, I explain, cigarette smoldering between my fingers. I've lived my entire life knowing my sister's Reaper was still out there, carving off faces, butchering families. You know why I want this thing to come after me? So I can kill it. So I can make it suffer just like it made Adelaide suffer. So I can make it bleed just like it made her bleed. The kid rubs his arm, gazes out the window, stares at that endless expanse of rural fuck-all nothingness, flat farmland buried in the shadow of rain clouds. Then he says,
I'm sorry. I want to help, but I can't.
30 years, countless dead ends. I've only got until midnight to get what I came here for, and this kid wants to play hard to get. It makes me want to wrap my hands around his throat. It makes me want to squeeze the brat until... No. Deep breath, Thomas. You're not your father. You can get what you need from the kid without making him bleed. Probably. You're trying to protect me, I tell him carefully. That's noble of you, but ultimately pointless. He pays me a look of shock. I've only got a couple more years in me, I continue. And that's assuming I kick this habit. A few months if I don't. I crush the last of the cigarette on the armrest, hacking a performative, watery-eyed cough. You can do the math on that yourself, I guess. Jonah's expression crumbles.
Jesus. So that's why you're not afraid. You're dead anyway.
Bingo. He sucks back a shuddering breath.
You don't get it, though. There's more to the lore, to its rules. Stuff they don't talk about in the campfire stories. It doesn't make you kill just anybody. It makes you kill.
You think I don't already know that? I snap, cutting him off. Look at the scars on my face, the gray in my hair. You think I got that working a desk job? I've been hunting boogeymen since before you were born. So tell me the damn name, kid. Help me save lives. Help me make your father's death mean something. He winces. Of course he does. It's almost pathetic how easy boys his age are to predict. It doesn't matter how smart they are, how driven. It doesn't even matter how mature. All of them are haunted by the ghost of their father, by the pathological need to prove themselves, chasing their old man's validation even while he's buried 6 feet under. I press the advantage. You want your dad to rot away, knowing you murdered him for nothing? Or do you want to save people? To have this sacrifice mean, fine! Jonah snaps. He wipes the sleeve of his patient gown across his eyes.
You've made your point. I'll do it.
He hesitates, shudders his eyes. Then he says the sweetest word I've ever heard. The name of the monster that massacred my future, that butchered my sister and devoured my childhood. He gives me the key to the gates of hell, and it's called...
Zipperjaw.
My pen moves on instinct. The letters appear one by one. But before I can finish, they've already started to melt into the page, vanishing. My heart pounds, hardly able to believe it. I'm smiling like a maniac. The No Thing. I finally learned its true name. This town. This night. How fitting it is that everything should end here, where it began, 40 years to the day. My hand is tremoring. No, my whole arm is. I'm afraid. How long has it been since I was truly, honestly afraid? Already I can feel the cold kiss of goosebumps crawling up my spine, my chest tightening and pupils dilating with... Jonah drops his face in his hands and starts to sob.
I'm sorry.
He gasps.
I'm so sorry.
My smile fractures, the rush of adrenaline giving way to a surge of annoyance. We've been over this, kid. I'm already dead. You've got nothing to feel bad about. He looks up through tear-stained eyes.
You don't get it.
Of course I get it. It's him that's still catching up. I've been playing Jonah since the moment I walked in that door. Everything I've done from lighting the cigarette to letting him catch a glimpse of my gun was deliberate, calculated. He sees the scars on my face and thinks he knows me, but masks go deeper than skin, and he's about to learn that lesson.
Zipperjaw doesn't just kill you.
He chokes out.
It makes you kill the person you care about most. Makes you eat their face. Just like...
He gags.
just like it did to you and your father,
I say flatly. He nods, looking like he might be sick with guilt. Poor kid's probably thinking he just sentenced one of my children to death, or maybe my parents, or my wife, or my second cousin twice removed, or whatever it is that people care about these days.
I should have told you before,
he says, bowing his head in shame.
I'm a monster.
I settle back in my chair, fold my arms over my lap and sigh.
No, Jonah. If there's a monster between us, it's me.
He blinks through a sheet of tears, not understanding. Not yet. But he will.
How do I put this?
I say, reaching for the words.
I'm not exactly a pleasant person. I'm angry and bitter. I drink too much, and my teeth are the color of nicotine. Most women are smart enough to avoid me. That means I haven't got kids, no spouse. As for my parents...
My father's voice crawls out from the back of my mind, drunk and vicious.
Zip it, boy! Zip it before I fucking...
I shiver.
Well, let's just say I'd have killed my old man if my sister didn't beat me to the punch.
Jonah's tears evaporate into quiet horror.
I know. I'm trauma dumping.
I give a self-deprecating wave.
Never quite learned the trick to being human, though. To grasping the whole concept of conversational boundaries.
I pause, considering.
My psychiatrist thinks it's got something to do with my brain. Sociopathy, she calls it. Or maybe psychopathy. Hard to keep track.
Jonah's eyes widen. The bandages go taut around his neck as his throat moves up and down. He's a smart kid. Naive, sure, but smart. No doubt he's putting it together now, recognizing that some nightmares wear suits and ties.
The point is,
I continue, leaning back in my chair and staring at the fluorescent sky.
I don't form attachments, not like you, not like most people do. My work is the only thing I feel truly connected to. So I guess you could say I'm married to my job.
Silence. Jonah isn't laughing. His heart monitor plays a staccato rhythm. He's staring at me like he's trying to reconcile the man who gently talked about his sister with whatever he's seeing now.
You're waiting for the punchline,
I say quietly.
There isn't one.
His hands grip the bedsheets.
My sister died when I was 6. She was only 10 when Zipperjaw butchered her.
My voice stays level, clinical.
I found her. She wasn't dead yet, not quite. So I got to hold her while she bled out. Adelaide was the last person who meant something to me. The only person.
I clench my jaw.
And now, there's nothing I cherish more than the thought of watching that creature die. And the only way I get to do that is through you, Jonah.
He shrinks to the far side of his bed, shaking his head like denial might rewrite reality. I rise from my chair. The legs screech against linoleum.
Nobody but you has survived Zipperjaw,
I say, crossing to his bed. My fingers close around the railing.
That means you can tell me things nobody else can. Its rules, how it functions, what binds it to this godforsaken reality.
His eyes dart to the locked door, to the handcuff on his wrist. His voice cracks.
I don't know any of that, though. Sure you do. It's just been buried, locked away and repressed.
I lean closer.
But that's why I'm here. I'm going to help you remember what it was like to butcher your father, what it tasted like when you swallowed his face.
He yanks at his handcuff. It doesn't give. He's big, but not that big. By the time he turns back, I've already crossed the distance. My hand closes around his throat, not hard enough to choke, just enough to feel his stitches shifting beneath the bandages, just enough to hurt him.
Stop!
He gasps, clawing at my wrist.
Please. You get it now, don't you?
I hiss, close enough he can smell the tobacco on my breath.
It's you, Jonah. Right now, nobody in the entire world is more important to me than you are.
His eyes widen with understanding, with horror.
You're my everything,
I whisper. He gives a pathetic whimper. He's finally letting himself see it. The horror of what he's done. The horror of what I've done to him. I release his throat and watch him gulp for air.
You used me,
he rasps.
Consider it leverage.
I sink back into my chair, clipboard on my lap like we're discussing insurance.
Some motivation to plumb those buried corners of your psyche.
I pay him a dark smile.
You're right.
he says slowly, voice shaking with disgust.
You really are a monster. Yes, but a necessary one.
I wet the tip of my finger and flip a handful of pages on my clipboard.
People are dying in this town. They're butchering families, eating faces. It's a disaster, frankly, and somebody needs to address it. It's what my sister would want.
Jonah recoils like I slapped him.
You think your sister would want this? You sacrificing some teenager for your bullshit revenge fantasy?
My eyelid twitches.
My sister would be proud of me,
I say through my teeth.
and even if she hated it, it wouldn't make a damn difference.
I lean forward, dropping my voice to a graveyard whisper.
See, this isn't about Adelaide, not really. This is about fairness, about making Zipperjaw pay for what it took from me.
I narrow my eyes.
And I intend to collect, no matter how many lives it costs.
Jonah's expression curdles.
You're deranged. No arguments there. But you know as well as I do what happens at midnight, kid.
My pen clicks and stabs the clipboard like a knife.
So I'd start talking, or pretty soon, you won't have a face to talk with.
I snap the pocket watch shut.
10:40 p.m. Tick-tock, kid.
Jonah feeds me a glare that could topple an elephant, hands twisting in his lap.
Let me get this straight.
He spits.
I help you, and maybe we live. Or maybe you're better at blowing smoke up your ass than you are at hunting monsters, and we both end up dead anyway. That right?
I run my tongue across my teeth.
I'm plenty good at hunting monsters. Believe me, I can kill this thing. Believe you?
He scoffs.
I don't know. Lying seems pretty on brand for you.
I tap my pen, studying him, then chuckle.
Oh, so this is happening. You're going to what? Go scorched earth on me? Keep your mouth shut so we both go down with the ship? Is that it?
He sneers.
Even if I live, I'm looking at life in prison. That's shitty enough. I'm considering just calling it here. At least I died knowing I wiped that dumb grin off your stupid face. Stupid face?
I roll my eyes.
Come on, kid. You can do better than that. Fuck off, dipshit. Yes, there you go. Throw a little heat on it. Make it burn.
He folds his arms, scathing.
Look, our issue is one of perspective,
I say.
You sabotage this and sure, you get to watch me die. And believe me, I can understand the appeal. But every corpse after tonight, every dead child, every dead parent, that's on you. All that death because you couldn't set aside your pride to cooperate for a single fucking hour.
The kid glares, nostrils flaring. His mouth works, searching for a counter-argument. Only there isn't one. Not for him. The sad truth is no amount of cold pragmatism could ever overcome his hopelessly overturned moral compass. It's almost criminal that people like him even exist. Naive lambs wandering a world built for wolves.
I'll admit it,
I tell him.
You've got the right idea of me. I'm a piece of shit. A deplorable example of what it means to be human. By all counts, I'm a certified lunatic that'd be better off in a padded cell. Glad we agree. But I'm not an idiot, and neither are you. What does that mean? It means the math checks out. Leukemia, prison, whichever way you cut it, our lives are already over. So the least we can do is make our final hours count.
He clenches his jaw.
You're doing it again. Manipulating me. Of course I am, but it doesn't change the calculus.
He's silent for a minute, then two, thinking, considering. Then he claws a hand through his hair with a snarl of frustration.
If we somehow live, then I want your help getting out of this town. Got it? A clean slate, new identity, whatever strings you can pull.
I almost smile. The kid's learning.
Sure. And be honest,
he says.
Can you actually kill this thing?
I settle back in my chair, a self-satisfied smirk on my face.
Don't see why not. I've killed plenty of other boogeymen. With your experience and my proclivity for violence, I'd say we've got a shot. A shot? What's our percentage of success? You don't want to know.
He heaves a sigh, head falling back against his pillow.
Great. So we're dead no matter what then?
Everyone's dead no matter what. We might just die faster.
That's supposed to make me feel better.
My watch shudders in my pocket. I pull it out and find the minute and hour hands spinning out of control, the glassy face flickering with a static haze.
What's wrong with it?
Jonah asks. No idea. It was working fine just moments ago, telling time, being a watch. Now it's like it's remembering what it used to be, what it used to do. Only that doesn't make sense because it was disabled the day I was excommunicated. I snap it shut with a frown, look up at the clock on the wall. Forget the watch. Our hourglass is burning sand. It's already 10:48 and we haven't even talked chain of custody.
Chain of what?
Somebody told you Zipperjaw's name. They passed its curse on to you. Who was it?
Nobody.
I arch an eyebrow. Thought we were past this, kid.
It's the truth. Nobody told me. It just came to me in a dream. Same one I've had every night since I was 4. Since my mom died.
His voice breaks.
Only this time, there was a girl.
What girl? He stares out at the bleak countryside. Sheets of rain trickle down the window glass.
Don't know. She wore a burlap mask. Looked homemade. Can't remember details very well. Only that she was bleeding.
Now we're talking. My pen carves across the page. Bleeding from where?
From her throat, maybe. Under her mask. Her dress was soaked red. She was choking, gurgling, almost like she was trying to speak. Just one word. Zipperjaw. And the second she said it, I woke up in a cold sweat. Thought it was just a nightmare at the time, but...
He trails off, guilt-stricken, probably thinking about eating his dad's face.
That's when I heard the zipper.
My pen pauses. Zipper? He nods.
It started after leaving my bedroom. I heard something unzip downstairs. Slow, then fast, then slow again.
Jonah says, tugging his ear.
It was loud, grating, like opening a backpack with a rusty zipper. I told my dad, and he did as usual.
Zip it! Told you both to shut the fuck up!
I shove my own father's memory down. His usual being what? I ask.
Reminding me how I disappointed him. How hard he worked after Mom died. Buying that country manor with Uncle Dutch.
The lights flicker. 10:54 p.m. The room goes dark. Jonah lurches up. My hand snaps to my magnum on instinct. It's still over an hour until midnight. That means this is probably a power outage. A coincidence. Only I don't trust coincidences.
Do you hear that?
Jonah croaks. Shh. I close my eyes, focusing past my pulse thundering in my ears, and there, behind the locked door, in the empty hallway, it's a mechanical growl, like metal teeth unfastening. The lights flash back on, blinding us both. Jonah's gone ghost white. His eyes are fixed on the door, voice creaking with dread.
It's out there. It's waiting.
You're probably right, I say, stalking forward. But entities like this are bound by rules. It can't touch us until midnight. I press my ear to the wooden surface. All I hear is silence. We're good, kid. Keep talking. He gapes like I've lost my mind. If there's a way to kill this thing, it's in your story. I've got the expertise, you've got information. So talk, or die. He glances at the door again, uneasy, unconvinced. For a second, I think he's going to drag this out, make a headache out of it. But then he opens his mouth and starts to speak.
The zipper sounds followed me all day,
He says slowly.
in class, at practice. But after school, on the football field, things got bad. I saw her, the masked girl, sitting on the sidelines with the doll in her lap, humming.
He hums the melody and my chest constricts. That tune, I've heard it before, but where? A memory scratches at the edge of my thoughts, stubborn, persistent. It's the kind I'd rather avoid, but it won't let me. The next time I blink, the hospital room starts to melt. The sterile walls, the old locker in the corner, all of it bleeds into the floor, mutating into a living room bathed in an analog glow. I'm 6 years old again. I'm sitting on stained carpet, across from my sister Adelaide, who must be 10. Our father snores on the couch, surrounded by beer cans and pill bottles, painkillers from an old work accident. Addie's humming. It's our mother's lullaby, the one she'd sing us before she died, before she split her throat open at the kitchen table. Addie shows me her doll. It's got googly eyes, a zipper smile. Mother sewed it for her the week she killed herself, told her it would be a friend she could always count on. One last gift. I got nothing. What's it called? I hear myself ask. The No Thing, Addie answers. That's a dumb name. It's not a name, she says flatly, combing its red thread hair. Nobody knows its real name. Why not? Because once you know its name, it gobbles you up. I frown. Be serious. It's true. Mom told me herself before she... Zip it! Father's staring at us from the couch, no longer asleep. His hands are cracking into fists, his round face creasing with rage.
The fuck did I tell you to? Don't talk about my wife, ever.
Sorry, Adelaide says quickly. We didn't mean to wake you, Dad. But Father's already peeling himself from the couch, staggering forward in a snarling, drunken stupor, deciding which one of us he'll hurt first.
You with me?
My eyelids wrench open. Jonah's halfway off his bed, reaching toward me, a look of genuine concern on his face. I sit upright, adrenaline singing through my veins. What happened?
You zoned out,
He says.
started drooling. Thought maybe you were having a stroke, but then I figured it was probably just the curse.
The curse, huh? I massage my head, scowling. So there's a memory component to this thing?
Yeah,
Could have mentioned that.
could have mentioned you were using me as a human sacrifice too, prick.
I grimace. The kid makes a fair point.
What you see?
My sister, I say slowly. We were kids. She was telling me about the No Thing. Pretty sure it used to be her doll. His face twists with shock.
You're saying Zipperjaw is what? Your sister's toy come to life?
I'm not saying anything. It's just a theory. My teeth find my lip, gnawing with uncertainty. But Adelaide was the first victim, so the timeline tracks. I need more data, though. Starting with that masked girl on the football field. What happened after you saw her?
Things got bad,
He says.
real bad.
Give me specifics. He swallows.
I felt metal claws digging down the center of my face, man. Right there in front of my whole team.
His voice shakes.
Felt like something was unzipping my face. It was agony. Physical, mental, emotional. I blacked out from the pain. Woke up in Uncle Dutch's truck and he looked pissed.
He shifts on the bed, growing more unsettled with every word.
Guess the school called the house. Left a message saying I'd been having some kind of episode. Screaming in front of my whole team. Dutch told me I should be ashamed. That I embarrassed the family. That I drew the wrong kind of attention, but...
He pauses, meets my eyes.
When that thing unzipped my face, I saw things. Terrible things. I screamed about them loud enough that half the school must have heard.
Outside, there's a crack of thunder. Rain batters the window in wet streaks. What kind of things?
Family things,
He says.
When Dad got home, I heard them arguing about it while I was up in my room. Dutch sounded furious. He was punching walls, yelling, kept saying they were both going to prison, that Dad broke their promise and told me their secret.
I leaned forward.
Secret?
He nods, voice beginning to tremble.
Something about Mom. Dad said he never told me, but Dutch said he must have because I was screaming about whatever it was in front of my team.
His words catch in his throat.
That's when Dad cocked his shotgun, told Dutch he needed to take a walk, clear his head, that he wasn't thinking straight. Dutch said that a lot of money was riding on this, that he was starting to doubt if Dad had the balls to shut me up if it came down to it, and
His mouth stops mid-sentence. He shrinks.
Dad said he could, that he already shut my mom up, so Dutch shouldn't doubt his loyalty.
Christ. So what? They killed your mom? Jonah goes cold.
No,
He sputters.
My mom, she died of leukemia. I know that. But whatever they were talking about, it sounded like they wanted me to
Zip it!
My father's snarl slams into me like a storm front. Only it isn't reaching my ears. It's echoing inside my mind, over and over, louder and louder. I grimace, staggering from my seat before collapsing onto my hands and knees. Sweat beads down my nose.
relax. It's just another memory.
Jonah. The kid's trying to coach me through this like it's science homework.
Gets harder the more you resist.
He doesn't get it. There are things in my past I can't bear to remember, things that would destroy me. My fingernails scrape across the floor, the scuffed linoleum blinking into carpeting and back again. I'm trying to hold on, trying to fight. But Zipperjaw's too powerful. With a final anguished roar, my consciousness gutters, and suddenly I'm falling backwards into myself, into a nightmare. The apartment hallway rises up around me, cramped, dark, and dressed in wallpaper stained a nicotine yellow. This moment, it feels familiar. This was the first time I learned about. Father smacks the back of my head.
I'm talking to you, dumbass.
He jabs a finger at the closet at the end of the hall, where a pile of clothes sits in tatters beside a pair of purple scissors.
This mess.
He barks, spit flying in my face.
You make it, boy.
I'm trying to work my mouth, trying to say it wasn't me, but the adrenaline is hijacking my nervous system. I'm in fight or flight, stuck in a stuttering loop of another smack. This time hard enough to bring tears to my eyes.
You deaf dipshit. Answer me.
There's a creak of a folding door. The closet opens. A girl steps out, red hair blazing almost as bright as her eyes.
Leave him alone. It's my mess.
Adelaide. Father's attention swivels, lip curling upward in a snarl. He gestures to the scraps.
These are my wife's clothes. The hell are you doing with them?
She's not just your wife.
Addie says defiantly.
She's our mom, too. And I was using her old clothes to make an outfit.
An outfit?
Father stomps forward, towering above her.
What? You don't like the clothes I buy you?
Of course I do, but...
He grabs her face, squeezing.
Zip it. Hear me? Not another goddamn word. Fucking ingrate.
He releases her with a scowl, shoving her hard against the wall.
Clean up your shit. Do it again, and I'll pour shampoo in your brother's eyes.
He turns, marching back to the living room, muttering beneath his breath. Addie hurries forward, tossing the scraps into the closet with the rest of her sewing supplies.
Sorry, Tommy,
she says quietly.
didn't mean to get you involved. You okay? Yeah,
I say, shaken.
why are you making an outfit?
She ruffles my hair with a bittersweet smile.
To protect us. The no thing gave me the idea. I'm almost done with the mask. Can I see?
I ask, trying to peer past her into the closet. She blocks my view.
No. Why not? Because it's a surprise. And because you're little enough, you'd probably get nightmares. I'm not afraid of clothes. It's not the clothes you need to be afraid of,
she says quietly, taking an uneasy look over her shoulder.
It's the thing that'll be wearing them.
And before I can argue further, she wheels about, vanishing into the dark of the closet. But before the door groans shut, I see it, the metal gleam of a zipper smile. The no thing, perched atop a burlap sack like a patchwork king, staring back at me with empty eyes. The memory tilts. The hallway starts to spin, the yellowed wallpaper darkening into a pale orange, the dim lighting becoming the foggy gloom of a December morning. A school bus. I'm sitting on a school bus now, next to Adelaide. Her hand is clutching her ribs, face caught in a pained grimace. The no thing sits in her lap, smiling serenely, almost like it's savoring her suffering.
Why do you bring it to school?
I ask, staring at the doll.
It creeps out the other kids. That's because I told them the legend about how strong it is, how scary. Why though? I thought you wanted us to make friends. Because that's how you make legends real. You spread them.
The bus hits a pothole, jolting violently. Addie winces, whimpering. No one else notices. No one ever does. Father makes sure our bruises never show.
He's getting meaner,
I say, the laughter of the children drowning out the fear in my voice.
It's almost summer. You remember what he did last summer?
Addie's quiet, staring down at the doll, fingers tangling in its red thread hair.
I remember,
she says coldly.
But it's okay. I've got a plan.
My stomach drops.
It doesn't involve the no thing, does it?
Even looking at it sends goosebumps across my arms.
No. Then what?
The bus lurches to a stop, air brakes hissing. The doors swing open, and children surge toward the exit in a river of backpacks and laughter. Addie's already moving, swept up in the current.
Addie!
I scramble after her, my hand-me-down backpack bouncing against my bruised spine.
Wait up!
She doesn't. Her eyes are locked straight ahead, feet carrying her toward the principal's office. My heart seizes. No, not again.
You can't tell!
I grab her arm, try to pull her back, but Addie's 4 years older and 20 pounds heavier, and determined in a way I've never seen before.
Remember the last time we told? No one believed us. Dad kept us in our rooms for 3 days without food or water as punishment.
All I can do is hang on as she drags me across the playground, my sneakers leaving twin tracks in the mud.
It won't be like last time,
She mutters, resentment in her voice.
This time, I'm not telling a teacher. I'm telling a social worker.
My voice cracks.
A what? A social worker?
She says with a sigh, stopping so suddenly I crash into her.
They can help us. They save kids from monsters like Dad all the time.
I blink, stunned. It almost sounds too good to be true, and that probably means it is. Across the field, a kickball game is starting. Normal kids doing normal things. We are not normal kids.
Addie, what if...
But she cuts me off.
Trust me, okay? I promise we'll be safe soon, Tommy.
Her arms wrap me in a hug, squeeze, and then she turns and marches toward the school, toward hope, toward help. But my gut is twisting with dread, because even at 6, I'm smart enough to know there is no hope, there is no help. All roads lead to monsters. My eyes snap open. I'm doubled over on the floor, panting, sweating.
Welcome back.
Jonah. He's on his feet now, standing next to his bed in that pale blue hospital gown. His handcuff rattles against the railing.
What?
Beyond the door, there's a shrill crash followed by a clatter of steel. A series of thuds, almost like something colossal is stumbling down the hallway, staggering from one wall to the next.
It's coming,
Jonah says. 11:06 p.m. No, it can't be. This is too soon, way too soon. I'm gritting my teeth, running through possibilities, but each seems more impossible than the last.
Can it break its rules?
Jonah asks, eyes fixed on the door.
Can it arrive before midnight?
No, of course it can't. Not unless... My words catch in my throat, a wave of horror washing over me.
Unless what?
Unless it's evolving. If it's outgrowing its rules, then we might not have until midnight anymore. My heart races. Everything we know about this monster might already be obsolete, useless. The entire interview might be a... The sound crawls from behind the door, slow, patient. Then it moves to the ceiling, then up from the floor. Jonah's eyes are darting everywhere in an anxious panic.
Maybe it knows we're trying to kill it?
He stammers.
You think it's watching us somehow?
I clench my jaw.
Kid, I'm starting to think it might be inside of us.
He gasps.
Like a parasite?
Yeah, only the kind that burrows into your mind, that makes you do the sort of shit you'd want to kill yourself just thinking about.
I hack a cough.
But if that's true, then it needs an opening to infect us. Same as any parasite. That means as long as you're talking, as long as your mind's occupied, you're still you. Got it? So move your fucking lips and finish your story.
Jonah sputters, horrified.
Okay. Shit, let me think.
He grips his hair, takes a deep breath.
Dutch left the house after the argument. I must have passed out again though, because when I woke up, it was midnight. Only somebody was knocking on the door. I figured Dutch might have got drunk and lost his key, so I went down to let him in. But when I got to the door, it wasn't Dutch on the other side of the fogged glass. It was a shadow, something that didn't look human.
Footsteps. I'm hearing footsteps now. The kind that are all creaks and groans. The heavy kind. The kind that are getting closer and closer.
What do you mean it didn't look human?
I say, trying to keep the kid occupied.
I mean, it was tall.
He croaks, eyes squeezed shut.
Taller than anyone I'd ever seen. The door only went up to its chest.
It had this tangle of hair that fell to its waist, redder than blood. Instinct told me to run, but then
He flinches.
I heard another voice. A little girl's, scared, like she needed help.
Rage boils in my gut. The masked girl. If it was Adelaide, maybe this is what the No Thing wanted for her. To murder her. To take her soul as bait so it could lure future victims into lowering their guards. The footsteps halt at the door. It's just heavy breathing out there now, coupled with the occasional whimper. I bring the magnum up to aim, forgetting to even breathe. Jonah's gone silent too. My skin crawls. That's a fingernail. A single fingernail dragging down the wood in one long, deliberate stroke. Testing. The silence stretches. 5 seconds. 10. More nails join the first, not frantic, patient. The kind of scratching that says it has all the time in the world and knows we don't. They drag across the door in overlapping patterns, wood fibers screaming as they're torn loose. 11:09 p.m. Call me an optimist, but I figure if an entity like Zipperjaw wanted in, it'd break the door down. That means the midnight rule is likely still holding, that this is all just a bit of theater to... The door lurches inward. Dust rains from the frame. The hinges shriek. The deadbolt groans. Fuck. Each impact hits like a wrecking ball. The door bows inward, wood splitting in spiderweb cracks. Then, as suddenly as it started, the pounding stops. The silence is somehow worse.
Come on, kid!
I growl.
Keep yapping! Don't give it an opening!
But Jonah's lost his head. He's in full-blown fight or flight, struggling against his handcuffs, trying to break free. And fear is fertile ground for possession.
I feel it.
He whimpers.
The ice in my skull. The whispers. It's just like before.
The cuffs rattle stubbornly. He can't escape, but he can't focus either. Not while he feels trapped, cornered, like prey in the face of a predator. And like prey, there's only one surefire way to calm him down. I point my gun at him.
Quit squirming!
He goes rigid as stone, a feeble plea on his lips. It's like he thinks I'm gonna shoot him. So I do. There's a crack of gunfire. A trail of smoke winds from the tip of my barrel, and Jonah's cuffs turn to ash before they ever hit the floor. He doesn't notice.
Took you long enough.
He seethes, massaging his wrist.
Lucky I did it at all. That bullet cost me 10 grand.
You know they sell them at Walmart, right?
Not the kind this gun uses.
For a second, I think we're back in business. That setting him free was just the relief he needed to get his head in the game. But then a low groan seeps through the cracks in the door. It starts deep, subsonic, then rises into something bordering on human. It cycles through octaves that don't belong in a single throat. A girl sobbing, a man roaring, a boy begging it all to end. And finally come the words. Cold, aching. They slither through the air like tear gas, each syllable spoken by a different mouth, a different victim.
Should have told the truth. Eat us.
Eat the lies!
Jonah whimpers, clutches his head.
We don't have to kill it.
He says, voice strained.
It's only trying to help.
That'll be Zipperjaw, I suppose. Seems it used the assault on the door as a distraction, created an opening for itself to snake into the kid's head. Smart. Smarter than my research ever implied. Not good. There's another crash. A light fixture tumbles, exploding in a storm of glass at Jonah's feet. He staggers backward, momentarily lucid again. I don't waste the opportunity.
You forgot your job?
I bark.
Keep talking!
He takes a shuddering breath, eyes snapping to me.
Right.
He mumbles with a full body shiver.
Yeah. I heard a girl outside. Someone needing help. It froze me to the spot. Then the shadow knocked again. And this time its fist tore right through the glass.
His voice gets small, fragile.
That's when I saw it. Standing hunchback on the porch. All these scraps of clothing stitched together into a patchwork dress.
The center of the door bulges, the wood giving way beneath Zipperjaw's fist. Jonah clenches his jaw, focusing.
Its torso was long, so was its neck, but the rest of its limbs were tiny. The arms, the legs, none of them looked like they even belonged to that thing. More like it ripped them off some kid and stapled them onto itself.
My teeth dig into my lip. Adelaide. Was this thing wearing her limbs? Did it steal her arms like it stole her voice?
Tommy!
My heart stops. That voice.
Please help! He's hurting me out here!
That's her!
Jonah croaks.
The little girl! You hear her too, right?
Yes.
Tommy! Are you in there?
Jonah's brow furrows.
Who's Tommy?
I am.
His gaze swivels to me, eyes widening as I inch toward the door. Adelaide, are you really out there? I'm reaching for the deadbolt. Warning bells are screaming in my head, but I can't afford to listen to them. Not when I've spent 40 years without my sister. Not when... Jonah snatches me by the arm.
This is what it does. Don't listen.
Help me, Tommy! He's hurting me! He's going to kill me!
His grip tightens.
I know you think it's your sister, but it isn't.
Maybe not. But it doesn't change how badly I want to go to her, even just to see an illusion of Adelaide. 4 decades she's been gone. I don't even have a picture to remember her by. I've almost forgotten what she looked like. I grimace, a rod of ice splitting my skull. An image flashes in my mind. A little girl with a caved-in face, shattered teeth, gurgling blood while I hold a blade to her throat and... The door splinters. The whole room shakes. I shake the memory off, glad to be rid of it. My thumb pulls back on the revolver's hammer, barrel aimed at the widening fissure in the center of the door. Splinters fly. A decaying, mottled fist breaks through. It wriggles in the center of the fissure, crooked fingers dancing as they're reaching for... My breath catches. The deadbolt. It's trying to let itself in. Only its arm isn't long enough to reach. Jonah was right. This thing, it's wearing the limbs of a child. My gut twists with disgust. I'm pulling the trigger before I finish the thought. The bullet snaps through the air, bleeding a purple trail of occult sigils behind it, and slices through the monster's hand. It doesn't even flinch. These bullets are designed to put down any living thing on Earth, regardless of where they strike, which confirms a theory I've been dreading. That Zipperjaw isn't a Class 4 entity. It's a Class 5. That means it isn't from this Earth, not even from this reality. It isn't beholden to laws like gravity, because it comes with its own laws, its own rules. And stopping something like that requires using those rules against it. Trouble is, it's outgrowing them faster than I can map them. And that's when it hits me. It's outgrowing its rules, but it hasn't shed them. Not entirely, not yet. That's why it can't just break down the door. It's why it's struggling to tap into its full power before midnight. On some level, it's in conflict with itself, torn between what it is and what it's becoming. Which gives me an idea.
You're early!
I holler.
So fuck off! You've got no claim on us until midnight!
There's a pained snarl. The tiny hand wrenches itself back through the door before smashing against the other side. It's angry. Good.
Go ahead, break the door down. See what happens when you step outside your laws. I'm certainly curious.
Another snarl, this one more tortured than the last. A smile paints my lips. It can't stand being reminded of its own rules, its own limitations. It's a theory the Order had been developing. Powerful entities have rules out of necessity. It allows them to interface with our reality, to come here to feed without being purged. You see, our dimension is one of laws, structure. You bring a creature here that's lawless, and reality will bear down on it like a cosmic press, annihilating it entirely. Well, assuming it hasn't transcended those laws, of course, which Zipperjaw hasn't. Yet.
Get lost!
I bellow. A scream erupts from the hallway.
Stop that!
I turn, surprised to see the brick shithouse that is Jonah, towering behind me, hand on my shoulder. His expression is stone-cast, cold.
Can't you see you're hurting it?
He seethes.
Gee, when did you get so observant? That's sort of the idea, kid.
I look back to my target, suck back another lungful of air.
No faces until midnight, you disgusting glutton.
The monster roars louder than the storm, the corridor trembling as it throws itself from wall to wall.
Shut up!
Jonah snaps, trying to get his hands over my mouth.
That's not fair!
He's bigger than me and plenty stronger too, but the best violence requires a touch of sadism, the sort he isn't prepared for. My elbow kicks back, nails him between the ribs. He gasps, stumbling backward before going down. Then, with everything I have, I shout,
Obey!
A voice tears through the room like a shockwave. It hurls me against the wall, my arms spread eagle like a dollar store crucifixion.
Zip it!
It snarls. The window cracks. The ceiling falls in a cascade of tiles, lighting and wires. Then I fall too, crumbling in a heap on the floor, my world spinning.
Leave!
I croak.
Get the hell out of here!
It gives one final groan, then tears itself from the door. Its bare feet slap like a drunk's down the hallway, haphazard and stumbling, before its footsteps vanish beneath the wind. I force myself upright, chest heaving with horror. That voice, the way it walks. All this time I fail to see the truth staring me in the face.
It got inside my head again, didn't it?
Jonah's on his feet, clutching his ribs.
I'm sorry, man.
Part of me wants to chastise him, to give him the third degree, but it's already 11:18, and we can't afford to lose more time.
Maybe that bruise will remind you to keep your head in the game.
I answer coldly, brushing past him to grab my jacket off the chair before slipping it on.
Still, it wasn't a total waste.
What do you mean?
Zipperjaw overplayed its hand. It showed me who it was, who it's been from the start, and we can use that.
Zip it!
The monster's shockwave shout echoes in my mind. It takes me back to that cramped apartment, to the alcoholic ghoul that beat my sister and I as a hobby. Jonah stares.
Wait, who is it then?
My mouth twitches, knuckles cracking with 40 years of suppressed nightmares. I tell him,
My father.
"Hey you, it's time to give your taste buds a break and stop drinking that stale store-bought coffee, roasted months ago and tasting like coffee flavored regret. Introducing NoSleep coffee, specialty grade beans roasted to order and delivered just days later, terrifyingly fresh. Don't punish yourself with stale store-bought coffee. Go to NoSleepCoffee.com and grab a bag of fresh NoSleep coffee today. Use promo code NoSleep20 for 20% off at checkout. That's NoSleepCoffee.com, promo code NoSleep20. Jonah's face turns white. Words coming so fast, they're stumbling over each other.
Your father is that thing outside? How the hell does that work?
Tough to say.
I snap a fresh form onto my clipboard.
If I had to guess, I'd say it's a manifestation of his inner demons. Not that they ever stayed inner. But it's him. I'd bet your face on it.
He gives me a bitter look.
You are betting my face on it. Okay, so it's your dad's ghost or soul or whatever the fuck. Is that good for us? Bad? You know him, so you can predict him, right?
My tongue presses the side of my cheek. Truth be told, I don't think men like my father can be predicted. The best you can do is survive them. But the kid doesn't need realism. He needs hope. And more importantly, a reason to keep doing as I say.
Yeah,
I lie.
we've got nothing to worry about.
Come on, you don't have to pretend.
I flip the page hard enough that it tears.
Look at your hand.
Jonas says.
It's shaking worse than my grandfather's, and he had Parkinson's. You're scared. It's okay to admit it. Hell, I'm fucking terrified.
A scowl paints my face.
Stay on task. We're on the clock.
11:22 p.m. But he insists on making himself a headache. He jabs a finger across the room at the me-shaped indent in the drywall.
You don't think I saw what happened? I was right here, man. That thing told you to zip it, and you looked ready to piss your pants. And I get it. If it is what you say it is, then there's no shame in being afraid.
Christ. Of course there's shame in it. Fear is the core difference between predator and prey. And I am not prey. Not now. Not ever.
You don't know me.
I hiss through my teeth.
And trust me, you don't want to. So stow the pro bono therapy and start telling me something useful.
You're right.
He says, shoving off the mattress and rounding on me in the armchair.
I don't know you, because you haven't told me anything about you. You're a walking question mark. A black suit wearing a man. If you weren't already dying, you'd probably hang yourself, wouldn't you?
I cough, a red splatter painting my sleeve. I'm considering leaving something similar across Jonah's face.
Maybe that's the problem,
he says, shaking his head.
Take Zipperjaw away, and you've got nothing. No purpose, no reason to keep breathing. On some level, you need that monster. Without it, Tommy wouldn't even exist, would he?
It happens before I can stop myself. My rage takes the wheel, my indignation. I'm shooting from my chair, snatching the kid by the front of his hospital gown and snapping back my arm, fist clenched. And he flinches. He doesn't fight back. He doesn't shove me off. He just flinches like he knows what's coming, like he just wants to get it over with. The same way I used to react when my old man would give me my fatherly love one bruise at a time. I let the kid go, collapsing into my chair with my head in my hands. There's an ache in my chest, not cancer, something worse. Shame, guilt. About 1,000 other emotions I spent a lifetime burying too, all of them crawling out for their day in the sun.
You finished?
I ask.
Are you? You say you're a sociopath, but I don't see it. All I see is a man terrified to let himself feel anything that isn't rage. And so what if I am?
I snap, my patience evaporating.
What does that change? What difference does admitting that even make?
Jonah's quiet for several moments.
It means you can take off your mask, that you can stop running from your past and finally start being honest with yourself. And if this thing really is your father, I'm thinking that might be important.
I avoid his eyes.
It's not that simple. There are things I've buried that would break me to dig up again. You couldn't possibly understand.
He folds his arms.
Oh, did you murder and cannibalize your father too then? No? Then maybe don't sit here and act like you're the king of trauma. You want to know what I went through? Fine, I'll tell you. Because I'm not a fucking coward.
Something inside me boils, but I don't say a word. I sit there stewing while the kid digs deep, excavating another nightmare while I do whatever it takes to avoid my own.
I saw that thing. Zipperjaw. Break down my door.
He croaks.
Saw it lurch inside, swaying like a scarecrow on children's legs. It had scissors lodged in its skull, did you know that? Purple ones, with little stars on the handle.
My grip on the pen tightens. Adelaide had a pair just like those, didn't she?
It backed me up against the stairs.
Jonah continues.
Then it leaned in close, its head jerked to the side, its little hand grabbing those scissors and wrenching them free.
Jonah's voice catches.
Black bile sprayed out, thick, viscous, and it started humming, dragging the scissors down my chest, cutting a square from my pajamas. And do you know what it did then?
I shake my head, jaw clenched.
It stuffed.
He brings a hand to his mouth, nauseated.
It stuffed that scrap of my pajamas into its open wound, the hole in its skull where the scissors had been, like it was making my shirt part of itself.
And its face?
I ask.
Do you remember what it looked like?
It didn't have one. No nose, no ears, no skin.
He bites his lip.
It looked more like fabric, brown and coarse. Burlap, maybe. And sewn where its mouth should be was a zipper smile.
My heart pounds. Adelaide had mentioned a mask, one she was designing for the No Thing. Did Father take it like he took her scissors? Was it not enough for him to kill her? He needed to pervert her memory too? Jonah pauses, brows furrowed.
Question.
What is it?
I ask, impatient.
It's just,
He pauses.
well, you told me your sister killed your father. That Zipperjaw made her do it. But if your father's Zipperjaw, then you're saying he, what? Made her kill him before killing herself? That doesn't add up.
A lump forms in my throat. The kid's trying to punch holes in my theory, the sort of holes I don't appreciate.
Let me paint you a clearer picture then,
I say, an edge to my voice.
My father was being investigated by the state for child endangerment. He knew it was only a matter of time before he got locked up, before he lost everything. And for somebody like him, an abusive sociopath who fed on control, that'd be just about his worst nightmare. He didn't see us as children, kid. He saw us as property, punching bags he could lay into whenever he needed to blow off steam. He wouldn't be able to stand the thought of losing control of us, of facing the humiliation of a trial. So what does he do?
I lean forward, hissing through my teeth.
He takes control of the narrative however he can, even if it means killing himself to do it.
Jonah blinks, stunned.
Hold on. You're saying the first Zipperjaw murder was staged then? That it was
My father was a narcissist, I say, cutting him off. The kind who'd carve off his own face just to be remembered as the victim. If he felt backed into a corner and figured the only way out was suicide, then he'd make damn sure Addie and I suffered too. Killing us alone would be too easy, too kind. No, he'd want to make sure he killed the memory of us also. My knuckles crack. Only he never got to finish me off. Just Adelaide. Why though? Did he bleed out before finishing his plan? Or is there something I've chosen to forget? Something my mind stitched over to keep me sane?
Mr. Chambers?
There's a woman at the door. Only we don't get guests in this apartment.
My name is Ruth Mitchens,
She announces.
I'm a social worker with the state. I'd like to speak with you about Tommy and Adelaide, if you have a few minutes.
A second later, and Father's bursting into the room Addie and I share. His eyes narrow. We cower as he marches forward, hands pumping in and out of fists, practically salivating with violence.
You told on me? Again? How many fucking times do I have to repeat the same lesson before you damn well learn?
He reaches for me, and Adelaide throws herself in front of me.
Fine,
He snarls.
I'll start with.
The social worker calls out again.
Mr. Chambers, I can hear the television, so I know someone's home.
For a second, Dad's hand hovers halfway to Adelaide's throat. Then he wrenches it back with a curse, fingers curling into a fist at his side.
So sorry, Ruth.
His voice flips like a switch, becoming bright and apologetic, almost sing-songy.
Just getting out of the shower. Can you give me 5 minutes to make myself presentable?
Of course, Mr. Chambers. I'll wait right here.
He takes a deep breath. Like magic, his face starts to rearrange itself. The snarl smooths into a smile. The violence drains from his eyes, replaced by something soft, warm. It's like watching a monster pull on human skin. He straightens his shirt, runs a hand through his greasy hair. Then he drops to one knee before us, hands settling on our shoulders.
Either of you say a word,
He whispers, leaning in close enough I can smell the beer on his breath.
and I'll kill you. Understand?
I know he isn't kidding. But I tell myself he can't hurt us, not after tonight. Once the social worker steps inside, she'll see. She'll save us. She'll take us away to somewhere safe, somewhere happy. A home full of love and warm meals and parents who don't have fists for hands. All I have to do is be brave, just like Addie promised. The next 10 minutes pass in a blur. Father tears through the apartment like a tornado, snatching beer cans off the coffee table, shoving pill bottles into his pockets. The pile of dirty laundry in the corner disappears into the bedroom closet. The dishes stacked in the sink get crammed into cupboards. No time to wash them, just hide them. He catches sight of himself in the bathroom mirror and curses. He grabs a razor. By the time the lock finally turns, Adelaide and I are standing in the hallway exactly where he positioned us, smiling, clean-faced, coached to say,
Hello.
and
Nice to meet you.
nothing else. The door swings open. Father stands in the threshold, transformed, clean-shaven, doused in cologne and mouthwash, wearing a suit I didn't even know he owned, the tie slightly crooked.
Ruth!
His voice is warm, apologetic.
So sorry about the wait. Please come in. I'm Howie, by the way,
He says, extending a hand.
and these are my two rascals.
Ruth shakes his hand, smiling. She's younger than I expected, mid-30s maybe, with kind eyes and a leather portfolio tucked under one arm.
This is Tommy.
Father continues, his hand settling on my shoulder. Not hard, not yet.
Don't be shy, buddy.
I manage something that might be a hello.
And my little arts and crafts monster, Adelaide.
Addie doesn't speak. Her hand finds mine and squeezes once. Father's fingers tighten on my shoulder before he releases me with a gentle pat. To Ruth, it probably looks affectionate.
Can I offer you some tea?
He asks, already moving toward the kitchen.
Or coffee? I know I kept you waiting.
I'm fine, thank you.
Ruth follows him, glancing around the apartment, taking inventory.
I'm actually here to discuss.
The abuse.
Father says it simply, like he's commenting on the weather. He pulls out a chair for her at the kitchen table, the same table that 2 hours ago was buried under empty bottles and pill containers. All of it vanished now, hidden in cupboards that bulge at their seams.
Come on, kids, sit down.
He gestures to the chairs across from Ruth.
It's time I own up to my failure as a father.
The words hit like cold water. Addie's hand tightens around mine. I can feel her pulse hammering against my palm. Or maybe it's my own. Not 5 minutes ago, he'd promised to kill us if we said a word. And now? Ruth shifts in her seat, pen hovering over her notepad.
Mr. Chambers, it's unusual for someone to lead with that. Can you tell me what you mean?
Well,
Father settles into his chair with a heavy sigh, running a hand through his damp hair.
my therapist says radical honesty is the only path to real change. So yes, I yell. I lose my temper. I send them to their rooms when I should probably count to 10 instead.
He looks at us with what might pass for remorse.
I'm far from perfect, Ruth, but I'm trying.
He places a hand to his chest.
My therapist says radical self-honesty is the surest path to self-improvement. So yes, I yell, I scold, I send them to their room. I'm far from perfect.
Ruth shakes her head.
That's not what I mean. Adelaide tells me you've struck them, locked them in their room for days.
Our father exhales, weary and wounded.
Addie, are you having nightmares again? Poor thing.
Nightmares?
Ruth asks.
I don't have nightmares,
Addie blurts. He pats her hand with paternal concern.
It's okay, sweetheart. The social worker's just trying to help.
He looks to Ruth.
Their mother's death hit Adelaide the hardest. Abigail used to hum to her every night, even stitched her a friend in light of Addie's condition.
Condition?
Addie was always intense. If she didn't get her way, she'd make scenes, cry in public, accuse her mom of things she'd never do. Other children tend to avoid her.
That's not true!
But Ruth holds up a hand.
Everyone deserves to be heard. And you told me you've had trouble making friends yourself, dear.
And there it is. Father's smirk. A flicker of triumph behind his gentle mask.
How did their mother die?
Ruth asks. He hesitates, milking it.
She killed herself,
he whispers.
Because of the things Addie said about her. The gossip, the lies. It broke her, and
He drops his face into his hands, sobbing. Ruth touches his shoulder.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Chambers.
He looks up, eyes red but dry.
I just try to keep peace now. I let them stay up late, order takeout. I'm terrified of losing them too.
Addie slams the table.
You're a liar! You drink all day and...
I know,
he cries, cutting her off.
I'm an alcoholic, but I'm trying. I go to meetings.
Tell her, Tommy!
Addie begs me, but he's already looking in my direction. That silent promise, that invisible knife between us.
Speak and die.
Well,
Ruth says, closing her notebook with a sigh.
I think Tommy's silence says plenty.
She gives Addie a disappointed look.
Making up stories isn't helping anyone. You need to stop dragging your brother into them.
She stands.
Mr. Chambers, you've been very open. I'll return in a month to check your progress.
He walks her to the door, feigning gratitude. Addie screams.
He's going to kill us! You can't leave!
He hugs her tight at his side.
Shh, it's okay, sweetheart. Stay up as late as you want tonight.
She's right!
The words tear from my throat, high and desperate.
He said he'd kill us!
The room goes still. Ruth's smile falters. Her eyes move between me and my father, really looking this time, searching for something. Father meets her gaze steadily, lets out a tired, wounded sigh.
Tommy,
he says softly, and there's hurt in his voice. Real hurt. Or something that sounds like it.
Why would you say something like that?
He looks back at Ruth, shaking his head.
I told them I'd kill them with tickles before bedtime. We have this game we play. I thought it might cheer them up, but
He trails off, running a hand through his hair.
maybe I shouldn't joke like that. Not after everything.
Ruth exhales. The suspicion drains from her face, replaced by something worse. Pity.
Tommy, Adelaide, no more of this. Do you understand me? You need to stop filling each other's heads with stories. Your father is trying.
She stands, smoothing her skirt.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Chambers. I'll return in a month to check on everyone's progress.
Of course. And Ruth,
Father walks her to the door, one hand on the frame.
I really am trying. For them. For their mother's memory.
I can see that.
She touches his arm, brief, encouraging.
I'm sure she'd be proud, Howie.
Good night.
The door closes. The lock turns. The chain slides home. For a moment, there's only the sound of Father's breathing. Deep, controlled. The kind of breath you take before lifting something heavy or breaking something fragile. Then he turns. His smile is gone. The warmth evaporated from his eyes. Addie puts a protective arm in front of me, both of us inching backward, trying not to make a sound. Father rolls his shoulders, cracks his neck, and takes a step toward us.
Not back for a month,
He says quietly.
That's plenty of time to hide your corpses.
You with me?
Jonah asks. His voice sounds distant, muffled, like I'm hearing him through water. I blink hard, once, twice. The apartment walls dissolve like wet paint, replaced by flickering fluorescence and shattered drywall. The smell of my father's cologne fades, replaced by antiseptic and storm wind.
I'm fine.
I rasp. The memory clings like cobwebs. Father's threat, Ruth's blind faith, Adelaide's silent scream. All of it tangled with what I know now. Jonah was the sole survivor. Out of dozens of victims across 4 decades, only this kid ever faced Zipperjaw and survived. I told myself it was luck before, that he'd cut too shallow, that the paramedics arrived too fast. But now I'm wondering if it was deliberate. If the cold, calculating piece of my father that still lived inside of that monster spared Jonah specifically to lure me here, to drag me back to this corpse of a town so he could make good on the promise he made 40 years ago.
Either of you say a word, and I'll kill you.
A shiver crawls through me.
You sure you're good?
Jonah asks, concern in his voice. 11:34 p.m.
I said I'm fine, so I'm fine.
I say impatiently, reaching for my clipboard.
Now keep talking.
The kid stares at me, silent, then does what I say.
Like I said, it had me pinned. Its smile widened, those rusty teeth rattling as they began to unzip.
He makes the sound.
Click. Click. Clack. Its mouth unfurled like a sack fallen open. Just this dark maw. And from inside,
He swallows hard.
I heard them. Voices. People I knew. Previous victims. All of them whispering. Their faces hanging from the roof of its mouth like ornaments of skin. Open mouths. Carved eyes.
He retches onto the linoleum. It's black, viscous, more bile than vomit.
The voices, kid. What were they saying?
Jonah scrapes himself upright, dark fluid crusting the gown. I'm half expecting to see tears in his eyes, but instead, they're 2 sunken pits, detached and empty, like he's finally learning to strangle his emotions before they can strangle him.
My mother.
He croaks, staring past me with a 1,000-yard gaze.
The voices told me it wasn't cancer that killed her. They said it was.
His hands shoot to his hair, fingers digging into his scalp.
They lied!
The scream tears out of him,
They were liars!
Tell me what they said.
but he's frantic now, pacing like a caged animal. He's stalling, probably hiding the part that will unlock everything. But midnight is closing in like a guillotine, and there's no time to waste dragging answers out of him. So I do the thing I hate more than anything else. I let go. I give the kid the wheel to his own story and pray he steers us where we need to go.
Forget the faces. What happened next?
His breathing steadies. He nods, finding his thread again.
My dad came out of his room with a shotgun, shouting that he'd already called the cops. Then he saw Zipperjaw and went white. The thing leapt off me like an insect, clawed straight up the wall. Dad fired a bunch. The shots didn't do a thing though, just punched holes in drywall. It was on him in seconds.
He swallows hard.
It threw him through the upstairs railing, and he fell, hit the floor in a shower of splinters. His neck.
Jonah brings a hand to his mouth.
And you?
I ask quietly, pulling his focus back.
What did you do? Ran.
He's chewing his thumbnail now, tearing at the cuticle.
Bolted for the kitchen. Tried to find a knife, a weapon, anything. But then a shadow fell over me.
His eyes go distant again, seeing it.
I looked up, and there it was, crawling across the ceiling, its patchwork dress hanging himself. It dropped on all fours right in front of me, rasping.
He wraps his arms around himself.
Its jaw was wide open, and inside,
His voice drops to a whisper.
inside were those faces, still whispering, still telling me lies about my father, saying he deserved it, that he'd been lying my whole life.
My stomach flips, recalling the conversation between his old man and Dutch.
Lying about what? My mother,
He croaks.
about how she died.
He gives a weak sob, expressions cycling between grief and rage, like he can't decide which one to feel.
The voices said it wasn't cancer that killed her. It was Dad and Dutch.
The words come faster now, tumbling out like he needs to expel them.
Her treatments were going well, really well, but then Dad saw the life insurance payout, how much it was worth. Dutch came up with the plan, helped Dad kill her, split the money. So Dutch poisoned her over weeks, something untraceable. Something that would look like her body was just giving up after the fight.
Jonah wipes at his eyes, now red and puffy.
Or at least, that's what the voices said.
I study him.
And you? What do you believe?
His mouth hangs open. For a second, he's torn, caught between the child who loved his father and the truth he can't unknow. Then the confession slips out, light as a laugh.
I think the faces were right.
My brow furrows.
But you just called them liars.
It's closer now, much closer. Jonah's hand goes to his ear again, tugging. Only there's something different about the gesture now. It's like he's trying to adjust the volume on something only he can hear.
They were liars.
He says, but he sounds confused, uncertain.
The voices, no, wait.
He shakes his head.
My dad and Uncle Dutch, they were the liars. Dad lied about everything.
He says, voice gaining confidence.
About Mom, about caring.
His lips twitch at the corners.
He deserved what he got.
Kid, you're contradicting yourself.
Am I?
He tilts his head, and the motion is too smooth, too measured.
Or are you just not listening?
A low hum rises from the corridor outside, mangled, broken. Jonah's eyes drift toward the door. His hand stops tugging his ear and falls to his lap. The fingers drum once, twice against his thigh, as if keeping time with something.
It's not fair.
He says quietly, and I can't tell if he's talking to me or to himself.
You keep calling them lies, but they showed me the truth. They helped me see.
Snap out of it.
But he continues, his voice rising.
He was a monster. My father, your father, all of them are. The voices they just opened my eyes, made me understand.
His lips curl upward, widening into a manic smirk. Then he blinks. The grin falters, confusion washing over his face.
I don't feel so good.
He looks down at his hands like they belong to someone else.
It's Zipperjaw.
His voice cracks, fear bleeding back in.
It's in my head. It's...
Zipperjaw's fingernails scrape against the door. Jonah flinches, and when he looks back at me, the fear is gone again, smoothed away like someone wiped a cloth across his expression.
It's almost time,
He says brightly.
Only 15 minutes to go.
He starts rocking in place, like a child waiting for Christmas morning. I grip my gun.
Jonah, listen to me. You need to fight this.
But I don't want to fight it.
He says simply.
Don't you see? It's the only thing that makes the pain stop. When it's close, everything makes sense. All the hurt, all the confusion, it just goes away.
A smile, blissful, delirious, crosses his face.
You'll understand soon.
Is that why Jonah carved off his father's face and ate it? Because the thing outside was pumping him full of psychic Novocaine, numbing the guilt so he could get the job done?
Son of a bitch.
I breathe. No wonder it's right outside. It knows exactly what it's doing, bending the rules without breaking them, keeping me from the data I need to put it in the dirt.
You don't like the truth, do you?
Jonah asks with an exaggerated frown.
You get upset whenever you have one of your memories.
He slides off the bed, bare feet slapping through his own puddle of puke.
You shouldn't run from them, though. They're gifts.
I draw my gun, thumb on the hammer.
Sit the fuck down.
He stops, letting loose an uneven laugh.
You sound so much like him.
Who?
My dad. You want to know what I did when I found him at the foot of the stairs? All broken and bleeding?
Let me guess. You ate his face.
No!
He roars. A vein throbs near his temple. His hands pump in and out of fists.
You keep calling it his face.
He seethes.
But it wasn't. It was his mask. Understand? The lie he showed the world.
He takes a step toward me, swaying slightly.
And I removed it because I'm a good son. Because I wanted to give him the gift of dying as himself.
My lip curls.
I bet he was overjoyed.
He wags a finger at me, and a chuckle bubbles up from his throat.
There you go again, hiding behind your jokes, acting like you're above it all.
His eyes are buzzing now, pupils blown wide.
My father did the same thing. Made everything a joke, so we never had to feel anything real.
He stops swaying and goes very still.
Except at the end. At the end, he couldn't joke. He was too busy choking on his own blood. Too busy dying to make me feel small anymore.
The chuckle returns, sharper, more gleeful.
All the pathetic bastard could do was sit there with his broken spine and broken neck and broken teeth, gasping like a fish while I worked.
His fingers twitch, mimicking the motion of scissors.
Cutting, peeling, tearing.
Then his whole body shudders. His shoulders roll back, head tilting toward the ceiling, lips parting on a soft exhale.
When I was finished,
He continues, voice dreamy now.
Zipperjaw told me to really look at him. To see him for who he truly was. Just raw tendon plastered to a skull. No more masks, no more lies. And it whispered to me.
His voice catches with reverence.
It whispered that I could taste all those lies too. That his face held thousands of them, and I'd only uncovered one.
A soft moan escapes him.
All it would take is a few bites.
His tongue darts out and wets his lips.
But once I started, I couldn't stop. With every bite, I saw more. More of who he really was beneath the mask, and I hated it. Every lie I swallowed just made me angrier, hungrier.
And yet you still tried to kill yourself afterward. Funny how that works.
His expression flickers. The smile cracks at the edges, confusion bleeding through.
You don't...
He blinks, like he's trying to remember why he's standing, where he is.
You don't get it. Zipperjaw isn't a monster. It's a healer. It showed me the truth, made the pain stop, made everything clear.
He wraps his arms around himself.
But it only works when it's close, when it's...
He trails off, staring at the battered door, at the shape moving beyond it.
When I felt it leaving, pulling away, it was like all that clarity started to drain out of me. I was sitting there next to my father's corpse, all that blood, his face in my stomach, and suddenly I could feel again the horror, the guilt. Everything I'd done came crashing back, and
He chokes on the words.
I begged it not to leave me, begged it to take the pain away, forever this time, and it listened. It gave me the scissors, told me I'd never have to hurt again, that I could be with it always, be part of it. But only if I was brave enough.
His hand drifts to his bandaged throat, fingers tracing the line of stitches beneath the gauze.
And I was.
Christ. So that's the final hook. The monster doesn't just relieve pain, it replaces it. Becomes the only thing that makes existence tolerable. And when it leaves, the withdrawal is so devastating that death feels like mercy. It's a drug, and Jonah's still hooked. The walls shudder. The whole room does. There's a guttural snarl from beyond the door, one I can hardly hear over Jonah's enthusiastic clapping.
It's almost time,
He says, 11:39 p.m. No, we still have 20 minutes, and I need every last one of them. It shouldn't be able to get in, not yet. Not unless... My pocket watch starts screaming. For the first time in 3 years, glyphs are spinning across the antique glass. Symbols. The system flickers through threat scans faster than I can track. Event detected. Classification. Analyzing. Stand by. The watch throbs like a heartbeat in my hand. Outside, the wind howls. Rain lashes through the broken window in horizontal sheets, soaking the floor, the bed, everything. And beneath it all is that mechanical growl of metal teeth grinding together. The watch face pulses, a flush of dark ink forming into words. Threat class, 6. Designation, Zipperjaw. Danger level, bloodbath. My breath catches. Class 6? There's no way. That's the highest threat class there is. It's reserved for entities that can create pocket realities, that require full tactical teams and ritual preparation. The watch pulses again. Static washes across the display, the glyphs fragmenting and reforming, the numbers stutter. Threat class, 7. Threat class, 6. They keep going back and forth, like it can't make up its mind. 7, 6, 7. Warning, entity evolution detected. Dimensional bleed, active.
No,
I whisper.
no.
Class 7 isn't even an official designation. It's theoretical, a catch-all for cosmic horrors, creatures so powerful the Order couldn't hope to contain them, much less destroy them. The watch stutters again. You've got to be kidding. It's evolving, right now in real time, growing beyond its original parameters, learning, adapting, breaking its own rules. Combat assessment complete. Analyzing survival probability. Calculating. 99.7% likelihood of death.
Fuck.
I breathe. Recommended action. Immediate evacuation. Do not engage. Requesting overseer support. The door shudders. A crack splits down the center. Error. Communications blocked by temporal interference. The screen fuzzes. You are alone, Inquisitor. Then that too vanishes, replaced by a single word. Run! The door bulges inward. Splinters rain down. A hinge tears free. The pocket watch pulses one final time, the Order's grim motto crawling across the display. In her name, we listen. In her name, we fall. I snap it shut.
In her name,
I growl.
we finish what we fucking started.
The door explodes, cartwheeling across the room. It slams into the wall beside Jonah, but the kid doesn't even blink. Next comes the feral cry, the animal snarl. It rips through the room, making my teeth ache and the window shatter with a scream of wind. Rain washes across the floor, lightning streaks the sky beyond.
You're back.
Jonah gasps, falling to his knees with tears in his eyes.
We're together again, at last.
A towering figure lurches through the doorway, its stolen limbs creaking like ancient timber. Jonah tugs at its patchwork dress, tries to get its attention. It doesn't even spare a second to look down. It just cracks its head toward me with a low groan. There's another flash of lightning, enough to get a glimpse of its burlap face, blood-stained hair, plastic eyes, and the gleam of that zipper-mouthed smile. My hands snap to my sidearm. I'm firing on it before I even finish my thought. 4 decades of hatred pouring out one bullet at a time. But Zipperjaw doesn't even have the courtesy to stumble. Its teeth begin to part, the zipper unfurling like a sack being opened. Its lower jaw falls down to its feet, revealing an endless void where its throat should be. And I hear it then, just like Jonah described. The voices, the whispers. They multiply, layering over each other in a chorus of lies. I'm clawing at my ears, pressing hard enough to hurt, but it doesn't help. They're already inside me. The words.
Listen to them!
Jonah pleads, following behind Zipperjaw like an acolyte.
They only want to show you the truth! No!
I wheeze.
They're lying!
But they're not. That's the problem. They're telling me things about Adelaide I've spent 40 years refusing to see. Things I buried under myth and martyrdom and the comfortable fiction of her sainthood.
She wasn't an angel.
The voices whisper.
She was a child, angry, desperate, violent. No, she was her father's daughter. Stop! She made you hold the scissors.
My vision fractures. I'm staggering through broken glass, rain soaking through my suit, cold and sharp and real.
Addie meant everything to me.
The words tear out of my throat.
I loved her.
That's what love is.
The voices croon.
Hurting people in the way they need to be hurt.
My father's philosophy, his legacy, the one he passed down like a genetic disease. My knees hit the floor. Lightning splits the sky, and suddenly I can't tell if I'm screaming or if it's the storm.
It wasn't my fault.
I whisper. But the voices don't answer, because they've already shown me the truth. And the truth is, it was. I'm torn backward into the memory. Ruth's heels clicking smartly down the hallway, down the stairs, out of earshot. Our last hope, gone. Father turns to Adelaide and I, snapping the locks tight.
Not back for a month. That's plenty of time to hide your corpses, isn't it?
He chuckles. I'm too scared to speak. Even Addie's gone silent. We brace for impact, but the pain never comes. He stalks right past us into the living room, merrily whistling to himself. He turns on the television. The voice of a football announcer erupts through the speakers. Then it gets louder, and louder, and louder still until it's deafening. He shouts something to us from the living room. Neither Addie or I can hear him. Adelaide clears her throat.
Can you turn it down, please? We can't hear you, Dad!
And then he's there, standing in the hallway, chest heaving like a predator.
Exactly,
He snarls. He rushes us, footsteps slamming. Addie and I scramble, but there's nowhere for us to go. Father snatches Addie by the back of her hair, ripping her off her feet with an anguished scream.
Don't!
She shrieks.
Get off me!
Should have done this while you were still a fetus.
He grunts, dragging her into his bedroom with a murderous snarl.
Would have made throwing away your corpse a lot easier.
The door slams shut. I bolt for the telephone and try calling the police, but he's disconnected it. Next, I go for the door. I'm hoping I can chase after Ruth, maybe find somebody else in this apartment that can help. Only I can't reach the locks. So I grab a chair from the kitchen, clamber on top and...
Don't think I forgot about you.
My father growls. He's marching toward me from his room, tie loose around his neck, hair a mess, knuckles red with blood. There's no sign of my sister.
Ungrateful little shit. After all I've done for you, you try to pull that on me?
Daddy, I didn't!
Zip it!
His hand clamps around my head, smashes it against the door, once, twice, and then my world goes black. Groaning, I pull my face from the water pooling on the floor. Two silhouettes stand in the center of the room, watching me.
He doesn't believe me.
Jonah tells Zipperjaw softly.
He thinks you hurt people, but you help them. You save us.
The monster groans, taking a sloppy, shambling step toward me. Its mouth hangs open, unhinged, hungry. My palms slap against the rain-soaked linoleum, the bottom of my shoes squealing as I try to scramble away. Meanwhile, Jonah's watching in the background, fingers dancing like he can hardly wait for me to carve off his face. He wants this for us. It makes me wonder if I'll be the same, another acolyte for my father's cruelty. Sighing, I reach into my chest pocket, pull out my pack of cigarettes, slide the last one from the carton.
Was saving this one for after I'd killed you.
I say wearily, lighter sparking feebly in the dampness.
Seems a shame to waste it, though.
Zipperjaw's shadow eclipses me. The cigarette finally catches, and the nicotine tastes sweeter than honey. It's almost enough to keep my hands from shaking, to keep my teeth from chattering in the cold horror of what's to come.
I'll admit it.
I say, staring up at the monster's dead, plastic eyes.
I can't kill you. But I gotta say, it's satisfying to know you couldn't break me.
Zipperjaw hisses, lurching toward me, open mouth dragging through the rainwater.
This is your play, isn't it? Proximity. The closer you are to your victims, the less they can resist those voices inside that mouth of yours. Those faces. So you're gonna get me even closer to them, aren't you? Gobble me up.
It grabs hold of my shoulders, lifting me off the ground like I were a child. I don't bother fighting. There's no point. It'd only give my old man the satisfaction of knowing he'd got to me, and I'm not about to offer more concessions on top of my life. I flick my cigarette into its mouth, coughing up a lungful of blood.
Get a move on. The cancer's gonna beat you to it.
The jaws close. Darkness swallows me. For a while, it feels like I'm falling, like I'm tumbling down a hill in an otherwise empty void. It smells like rot, like decay. When my body finally crashes to a stop, I'm greeted by a symphony of whispers.
Liars!
I groan, getting to my feet. There's a spark, then a jet flame hiss as my lighter illuminates the colorless void. My breath catches. Faces. I'm surrounded by them, caught within a forest of flesh hanging from muscle sinew, each of them with empty eyes, empty mouths.
Don't feel guilty,
says an elderly woman.
Your bitch sister made you do it. Heartless she was. Not a thought for your own well-being.
I try to snatch her face, try to tear it in half, but my hand passes right through her. A boy giggles behind me.
She's right, you know. Your sister was asking for it.
I grit my teeth, wheeling about, but more voices join the fray, taunting, lying. It doesn't make sense. Jonah's my VIP. I should be having revelations about why I need to carve off his mask, just like he saw with his father. But instead, they keep whispering about Adelaide.
She's already dead,
I bellow, hacking a cough.
I can't kill her a second time, can I?
My knees buckle. I'm coughing still, spitting up blood and phlegm and worse.
Are you okay, Tommy?
My eyes widen. That voice. It's not like the others. Not even like the guttural, broken imitation my father spat through Zipperjaw's cold metal lips.
Addie?
I breathe.
You look sick, Tommy. What's wrong?
It's her. No. My heart pounds. It's another trick. More lies from the monster that stole everything. But I can't stop myself. I'm barreling through the drapery of skin, calling for my sister, trying to listen for her reply over the deluge of lies the faces are whispering.
Adelaide, where are you?
I stumble to a halt in a place that looks identical to where I just left. It's just darkness. Darkness and empty eyes and empty mouths and...
Over here.
My eyes narrow, pulse pounding in my ears. It can't be. I'm moving without thinking, one foot in front of the other, an exhausted, world-weary smile forming on my lips. That fire-red hair, those almond eyes. It's her. My big sister, after all these years.
Addie, you're...
I'm sputtering. It's not even words I'm speaking. Just gibberish given shape by emotions I never learned to name. None of it matters. I've already broken into a sprint, and the closer I get, the more I see her. That faded, hand-me-down t-shirt of Mom's still hanging off her shoulders like a poncho.
Adelaide,
My voice turns to ash. I'm gripping my throat, trying to speak, but it's like I've forgotten how. My legs turn to lead. There she is, close enough I can almost touch her. And I can't move an inch. Can't even give voice to how much I miss her, how sorry I am for everything. Invisible fingers wrap around my spine and pull. I'm ripped backwards, screaming through a drapery of flesh as the void begins to flicker like a bad signal. The darkness turns an analog blue. The whispers fade into the crackle of suited anchors rambling on the late-night news. No, not this. Anything but this. But it's too late. Already, a living room is forming around me, complete with peeling wallpaper and a sagging couch, a coffee table littered with beer bottles and painkillers. And there he is, taking shape on that sagging couch, lying on his back, one arm draped across his ballooning gut, the other hanging off the side. My father. Splayed across the floor beneath him are two bundles of blankets, not a pillow between them. Adelaide and I. This is it. This is where it happens. This is where I watch my sister die. No. No, 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 no. Panic explodes in my chest. I'm thrashing, a passenger kidnapped by my own memory. I bolt from the living room down the hallway, my adult legs moving with the child's desperate, graceless terror. The bathroom door. I wrench it open. The living room stares back. Father on the couch. The blankets on the floor. The blue television glow painting everything the color of a drowned corpse. I slam it shut and tear open the bedroom door. The same room. The same nightmare. Like the universe has contracted to this single moment. This singularity of trauma I've spent 40 years running from.
Let me out!
My voice cracks.
I don't want to see this! I don't!
But every door is a mirror. Every escape route's back to the beginning. I'm trapped in a Mobius strip of the worst night of my life, and I can feel it approaching. The moment Adelaide stops breathing. The moment I realize she's already gone. The moment
Please!
I'm begging now, collapsed against the hallway wall, hands clawing at wallpaper that peels away like dead skin.
Zipperjaw, Dad, whatever you are, just fucking end this!
My throat burns.
Chew me up! Swallow me down! Kill me like you promised all those years ago!
The silence is suffocating. I have no voice here. Not really. I'm a ghost haunting my own memory, a spectator condemned to watch Adelaide die again and again and again. It brings me to my knees. I'm kneeling on carpet that smells like beer and violence, and I'm begging a monster for a mercy I know my father would never, could never offer. That's the inheritance he left me, the only thing he ever taught me. How to suffer quietly. The television flickers. The analog hiss rises like a swarm of insects. Then a voice, growling from the darkness, from the walls, from the television, from the throat of my sleeping father.
Zip it.
The words scrape across my brain like a rusty blade. My breath stops. My heart stutters. Because I know what comes next. My eyes snap open. I'm 6 years old again, lying on the floor in blankets, damp with tears. Every breath a struggle past the swelling in my eye and the crack in my rib. My lip throbs, swollen, fat as a slug. It's hard to see. My left eye's puffed, nearly shut, reducing the world to a narrow slit of analog blue light. The living room swims into focus. There, across the minefield of carpet stains and cigarette burns, sits a bundle of purple blankets. A shock of red hair spills from beneath like a wound. Adelaide. My heart lurches. I squint harder, desperate for the rise and fall of her breathing, but the darkness makes it impossible to... Wait. I sit up slowly, ribs aching, lip nearly as swollen as my eye. It's hard to see. The living room is cast in an analog glow, the half-light spilling across a bundle of purple blankets where I can see the red of Adelaide's hair peeking out from beneath. And there, the object of my worry is thankfully snoring loudly on the couch. A forest of beer cans litters the table before him, an emptied bottle of painkillers lying on its side. I'm hoping that means he'll sleep in, that maybe he won't remember promising to kill Addie and me. I wince, a shock of pain rioting through my side. It's hard to breathe. All I remember is Father dragging Adelaide away, locking her in his room before coming back for me, bashing my head against the door until I passed out. Apparently, me being unconscious wasn't a deal breaker. Addie told me later that he only stopped beating us because the landlord started hammering on the door, shouting that we could either turn down the television or find a new place to live.
Don't think this is over.
He told us, hissing like a viper.
If you think I'm gonna let you off the hook after calling fucking social services on me, you little fucking narcs, then you've got another thing coming. As if I don't do enough for you as it is. Feed you, clothe you, and all this after you made my wife kill herself. Fucking ingrates.
His teeth were gnashing like he wanted to bite us.
I'll cut your throats if you say another word to anyone. Understand? Don't think I won't. It'd only be fair.
Now grab your blankets. I'm not letting you out of my sight until I've finished teaching you some respect.
He'd planted himself on the living room couch like a toad on a throne, swallowing pills by the fistful, washing them down with warm beer. Every hour or so, he'd stagger to the bathroom, and on his way back, he'd aim a kick at whichever one of us he passed.
That's for bloodying up my knuckles.
He'd laugh, like it was the funniest joke in the world. He said it 6 times, maybe 7. Same punchline, same dead-eyed grin. I don't think he forgot. I think he just liked saying it. Cruelty scratched an itch that the booze and pills couldn't reach. Addie and I were just another substance he could abuse.
Zip it.
I freeze. That voice, raw, guttural, like gravel scraped across concrete. My good eye snaps to Father's blurry form on the couch. But even through the swelling, I can see his chest rising and falling. I can hear the wet rattle of his snores. He's still asleep. So who's speaking? I freeze. That sound, it came from the hallway. Footsteps, slow and deliberate, getting closer. Then the humming starts. A lullaby I recognize. Mom's song. The one she used to sing before she died. But the voice is all wrong. Rough, broken, like someone gargling razor blades.
Adelaide!
I hiss, my hand shooting out to grab her ankle beneath the blankets. I shake it, hard.
Wake up!
Nothing. The footsteps are closer now, right outside the living room. I squint into the hallway darkness, my swollen eye useless, my good eye straining to make sense of the shifting shadows dancing in the half-light. The shapes won't stay still. They twist and writhe like living things.
Who's there?
I croak, hating how small my voice sounds. Father snorts. My heart stops. He scratches his stomach, lips smacking. For one eternal, terrifying second, I'm certain he's going to wake up. He's going to see whoever's in the hallway. He's going to blame us for letting them in, for making noise, for existing. And he's going to finish what he started. He's going to kill us. But then his hand flops back to his gut. He mumbles something wordless and wet. The snoring resumes, a chainsaw cutting through the silence. Relief floods my bones, then dies just as fast. A silhouette materializes in the doorway, child-sized, wrong-shaped, wearing something over its face. A brown mask with bulging googly eyes and a zipper smile stitched where a mouth should be. Something purple gleams in the figure's hand, catching the television's glow. Snip! The sound pierces the air like a violent whisper.
Addie, they've got your mask!
I'm saying frantically now, shaking her ankle like our lives depend on it.
They've got your scissors! Wake up!
But my sister won't answer. She won't stir. She won't even breathe. My chest tightens. Adelaide would never ignore me. Not when I'm scared. Not when I need her. She's always there when I need her. Always. That's what big sisters do. That's what she does. Unless... The memory crashes over me like cold water. Waking up in her arms just hours ago, her fingers stroking my hair while she whispered that it was okay, that we were okay. But her face had been a massacre of bruises, her neck ringed with purple fingerprints, each one a testament to where Father's hands had squeezed. The way she'd wheezed when she tried to speak, the wet, rattling sound in her throat.
Make it so you can never tell lies again.
Father had snarled while his hands tightened around her.
Never again. Addie!
The word breaks apart in my mouth, tears blurring what's left of my vision.
Please wake up. I need you.
I'm begging now, both hands wrapped around her ankle, pulling, shaking, pleading. But even at 6 years old, even with a head full of trauma and terror, I'm smart enough to understand. My sister isn't waking up. Not now. Not ever. Because Adelaide didn't fall asleep when she laid down in those blankets. She died. And I've been alone this whole time. My consciousness thrashes. The memory starts to fracture, breaking like glass as I hammer against the walls of my mind. The living room crumbles, replaced by the ornaments of faces hanging in that endless void. It's Zipperjaw. It's holding me here, forcing me to relive this. Only I don't need to because the answer is already clear as day. My father beat my sister to death, and after he woke up and found her dead, he knew he'd spend the rest of his life in prison. His worst nightmare. No control. Nobody smaller than him to hurt. So what does he do? He stages the crime scene, makes it look like Adelaide butchered him, then cuts his throat to cement his legacy as a victim, and her legacy as a monster who couldn't live with her guilt.
There you go!
I bellow into the void, spinning about in the forest of flesh.
I've solved it! Figured out the truth and it didn't break me! You never broke me, understand? You don't control me and you never will!
Tommy?
I spin about, and there she is, looking up at me through red bangs.
It's almost over. Then you can rest.
Adelaide grabs my hand, squeezes it. I'm blinking back tears.
You have to remember,
she tells me.
No!
I stammer, ripping my hand from her grip and staggering backwards.
You can't fool me! You aren't my real sister! You aren't!
But she's walking after me, red hair trailing behind her like a cloak of flames. She's swimming in that oversized hand-me-down t-shirt. Mom's, the one that Addie refused to wash for fear of losing her scent.
Don't be afraid.
Her voice echoes from everywhere and nowhere.
I'm not afraid of you!
I spit, but my voice cracks.
Not me,
she whispers, and the sadness in those two words nearly breaks me. She reaches out, and that's when I see it. A red smile opening across her throat. Thin at first, then widening, grinning, gushing. Blood. It pours down her shirt in a flood, soaking through the faded fabric. Adelaide stumbles. Her knees buckle. She's falling, but even as she drops, her finger extends toward me, pointing, accusatory. Not at Father, not at Zipperjaw, at me. I lunge forward, arms outstretched to catch her, to save her this time. But she falls through my fingers like smoke. My knees hit something hard and real and... I'm 6 again, yanking the covers up to my swollen face, heart jackhammering against bruised ribs. The void is gone. The faces are too. The filthy living room swims back into focus through tears I didn't know I was crying. And there, standing over my snoring father, is a figure in a patchwork dress. Their back is to me, but I can see short arms dangling at odd angles, bare feet, child-sized, planted on either side of Father's legs. And spilling from beneath the bottom of the burlap mask is a tangle of hair, wild, unkempt, redder than blood, redder than anything has a right to be. The air leaves my lungs. This isn't an intruder. It's a monster. It's the No Thing.
Such a good mask.
It rasps, and the voice sounds like it's something spat out of a carburetor. One small hand reaches down, fingertips grazing Father's slack face with something resembling tenderness.
So lifelike, so real. But I wonder,
Adelaide's stolen scissors gleam in the television's light.
what's underneath?
Father's leg twitches. My hand clamps over my mouth, trying to hold in the whimper. Even from here, huddled on the floor in my pathetic nest of blankets, I can smell him. The sour, sweet reek of alcohol. Thick, cloying. It smells like the time he didn't wake up for an entire day. The time Addie and I thought he was dead. The time we hoped he was.
You showed me how powerful masks can be.
The No Thing coos, running the blade along Father's jawline.
How easily they transform us. Make us into something stronger, something meaner. But don't worry. I'll take off your mask. I'll show everyone what you really look like.
The scissors open and close like a metal heartbeat.
I'll show the whole world that monsters are real.
Father groans. Something drips onto the floor. It pools into the yellowed carpet, spreading like spilled ketchup, but it's thicker, redder. My throat constricts. Move, I tell myself. Move, move, move! I'm crawling, elbows and knees sliding across the filthy carpet, inching toward Adelaide's purple blankets.
Addie! Addie, wake up!
She doesn't stir. Of course she doesn't. She's gone. No amount of crying will ever bring her back. Tears blur what little vision I have left. Behind me, the scissors continue their work, metal teeth gnashing in rhythm with Father's stuttered moans. His fingers are twitching, jumping, tap dancing against the couch cushions like they're trying to escape his body. His breath comes in rattling gasps, and even his monstrous snores are thinning, fading, dying. But the no thing doesn't stop. It keeps snipping, humming Mother's broken lullaby, bare feet dancing in the spreading pool of blood.
See?
It hisses with childish delight.
That wasn't so bad, was it?
There's a grotesque sound, wet and sickening as the no thing pulls back, peeling something pale and dripping from Father. It lifts it high, examining it in the television's glow. The thing tilts its burlap head this way and that. My stomach heaves. His face. It's cut off Father's face.
Smells like lies.
It croaks.
Bet it tastes like them too.
The creature's fingers tear off a strip of flesh, a ragged piece from what used to be Father's cheek. It dangles the meat above the man's open, groaning mouth.
How about it?
The no thing coos, playful and curious.
Wants a bite. Only seems fair after making everybody else stomach you for so long.
It drops the flesh. He coughs, gags, but the no thing's hand clamps down over his jaw, impossibly strong for something so small, holding it shut.
Zipperjaw!
The creature snarls, all playfulness evaporating. Father's limbs jerk, spasm. His throat works, convulsing, and I watch his eyes roll back white. No. I whirl back to Adelaide's blankets and yank them away, desperate, terrified, unsure if I'm going to find her dead or alive or something worse, only knowing I need her. I need her to wake up and tell me this is just another nightmare. But there's nothing underneath, just pillows, 3 or 4 of them, arranged in the shape of a child. A decoy. My chest caves in. The air won't come and won't go. My gaze swivels to the no thing, still distracted, trying to feed Father his own face, rage boiling in my gut.
You took her!
The scream tears out of me, raw and primal and loud.
Give her back!
The snipping stops. The humming stops. Everything stops. The no thing's burlap head swivels toward me. Those plastic, googly eyes catch the light, reflecting it back in 2 perfect circles, unblinking, inhuman. It lifts one small finger to its zipper smile. Shh. The hiss slides across the room like a snake. But it's too late for silence, too late for hiding, because even Father, intoxicated beyond any human limit, is stirring now, the agony and commotion cutting through the painkillers and booze. He slides off the couch with a wet thump, hands flying to his face. His fingers come away glistening, red. For a moment, he just stares at them, confused, like his brain can't process what his eyes are seeing. Then comes the rage. He lurches to his feet, swaying.
You shits cut my face!
He sputters. He doesn't know. He can't know how bad it is because he can't see what I can. It's all missing. It's just raw, glistening tendon where his face should be. Twitching muscle fibers, blinkless eyes. His yellowed teeth are peeled back in a permanent, lipless snarl. But before he can reorient himself, a shape rises behind him, perched on the couch with Addie's scissors held high. The sound of splitting bone echoes through the apartment like a gunshot. Father stumbles. His faceless head snaps back, jaw working soundlessly. But the no thing doesn't hesitate. It raises the scissors again, standing on tiptoes to get the angle right, then slams them down. Again. There's a wet pop like a cork being pulled from a bottle, and the scissors disappear into Father's skull up to their handles. His whole body convulses. Blood erupts, spurting from the wound in jets that paint the walls, the ceiling, the couch. The no thing staggers backward, bare feet slipping in the spreading lake of red. And then it laughs. It watches my father gurgle and spasm, watches him die, and it's clapping its hands, howling with glee. I move without thinking, scrambling backwards on hands and knees, squeezing myself into the darkest corner of the living room.
You little...
My father. He's still alive, still moving. How? I don't know. He's got a pair of scissors lodged in his brain, but then he never needed his brain to live. His rage was more than enough. And now he's running on a full tank. His jaw works, grinding what's left of his teeth. He sways violently like a building about to collapse, then drops hard, hand slapping the blood-slicked carpet. His pupils roll back until only the whites show. I'm not sure he can see anymore, but he can still move. His fingers snatch at the carpet and start to drag himself toward the joyous clapping of the no thing, delighting in his suffering. He lunges. The speed of it shocks me. It shocks the no thing too, because it doesn't move fast enough. Father's pork-sized fist closes around the monster's skinny ankle like a bear trap snapping shut. The creature hits the floor. There's a struggle, but it's brief. Father clambers on top of the no thing, pinning it beneath his bulk. He cocks back his fist and brings it down into its dead-eyed face with a bone-shattering crunch. He doesn't stop, even when the no thing's limbs stop twitching, even when the burlap mask caves in on one side, plastic eye popping free and rolling across the carpet like a marble. He doesn't stop.
Don't kill it!
I shriek. His head swivels toward me, breathless.
You!
He growls.
It kidnapped Addie! Make it bring her back first! Please, Dad!
His teeth gnash. He slams his fist down one last time, finishing the job, then rises up from the creature's body.
You just sat there and watched, did you? Let the coon cut me up?
I'm circling away, the blankets falling from my shoulders.
I'm sorry. I was scared, Daddy. Scared?
He spits out a mouthful of blood.
I'll give you something to be afraid of, boy.
But he can barely sit upright. His words are slurring, and he's practically rolling across the walls trying to reach me, leaving crimson smears wherever he touches. Then he stumbles. He crashes into the television with a spray of sparks and shattering glass, and lunges. I'm not fast enough. I never was. His hand closes around my throat and slams me to the carpet. I can't breathe. I can't scream. The world spins and goes gray at the edges. I'm clawing at his face, fingers sinking into raw muscle and exposed tendon. I'm trying to push him off, but he's too heavy, too strong. My hand reaches wildly, desperately for anything. There. The scissors, still lodged in his skull.
Gonna kill you, boy!
Father rasps.
If it's the last thing,
I pull. The scissors come free with a squelch. He sputters. Blood bubbles from his mouth and streams from the hole in his head. He lifts a fist, mumbling something about turning my head inside out, then drops. He collapses like a mountain of meat. I roll out from under his arm with a horrified grunt, scrambling away on hands and knees until my back hits the wall. I stand. For the first time, I see it all. The full scope of the nightmare painted across our living room in varying shades of red. My chest heaves, hyperventilating. The room spins. I'm going to be sick. I'm going to pass out. I'm going to... A gasp. Weak. Wet. I spin around, hard in my throat. But there's no one there. Just me, my dead father, and the corpse of the no thing lying in a broken heap beside the couch, burlap mask caved in.
Tommy.
That voice, small, pained. It almost sounds like,
Addie?
The word comes out strangled, desperate. I stagger forward, hope and terror warring in my chest.
Addie, is that you?
Maybe the no thing let her go. Maybe when the monster died, she came back. Maybe. The no thing coughs weakly. Its burlap head tilts sideways, facing me with a single plastic eye. My heart stops.
No. That isn't. Please don't let it.
But my feet are already moving, numb to the shards of television crunching beneath my heels, numb to the blood soaking through my socks, numb to everything except the awful pull drawing me forward. My knees hit the floor beside the broken thing in the patchwork dress. The monster groans.
Take it off.
It whispers, one hand trembling toward the burlap mask.
Want to see you properly.
My fingers find the cords. They're tied tight, knotted. I fumble with them, hands shaking so badly I can barely grip the strings. It's not her, I tell myself. It can't be her. It's a trick, a lie. When I pull it off, I'll see fangs, yellow eyes, something monstrous and inhuman. A vampire, maybe, or a demon, or a boogeyman, or whatever the no thing really is. Anything but...
Daddy?
I whimper. My sister blinks back at me. Her face has been caved in, cheekbones shattered, eye socket crushed. Most of her teeth are missing. knocked down her throat or scattered across the carpet. Tears flood my eyes.
Did I get him?
She rasps, trying to smile as blood bubbles between her lips.
Are you safe?
I nod frantically, too frantically, my whole body shaking. Hold on! The words tumble out in a rush. I'm already spinning toward the door, toward escape, toward help. I'll unlock the door. I'll get help. Her fingers close around my arm. Not hard. She doesn't have the strength, but firm enough to stop me.
Please don't leave.
She coughs, and more blood spills from her mouth, from her nose.
I don't want to die with him.
She tugs weakly at the scissors, still clutched in my hand. I release them without thinking. Her fingers, slick with blood, wrap around the purple handles, trembling. She presses the points to her throat, pushes. Only she's too weak. The blades dimple her skin but won't puncture. They won't go deeper.
Addie, what are you? Stop! You can't! Help me make the pain go away.
She wheezes, eyes finding mine.
Please, like Mom did.
The words hit me like a fist to the stomach. Mom, at the kitchen table. I'd been the one to find her slouched there when I was only 4. The red smile cut across her throat. The way she'd looked almost peaceful, like she'd finally stopped hurting.
I can't.
I choke out, shaking my head so hard it makes me dizzy.
I can't, Addie. Please don't ask me to.
But she's sputtering now, convulsing. Her remaining eye rolling back in her head as her body starts to seize. My mind races, frantic, grasping. Father disconnected the phone, put a padlock on the door, hid the key. I don't know where. I could scream, I think, pound on the walls. Maybe someone in the neighboring apartments would hear. Maybe they'd come. Maybe they'd break down the door and call an ambulance and… How long would that take? 10 minutes? 20? How long would Adelaide suffer while I waited?
Please!
She's begging now, the word barely intelligible through the blood and broken teeth.
Please, Tommy! It hurts so bad!
Her whole body arches off the floor, back bowing, and the sound that rips from her throat makes something inside me break. I can't. But I can't let her suffer either. I fall to my knees beside her. My hands, so small, still a child's hands, settle over hers. Over her fingers wrapped white knuckle tight around those purple scissors.
I love you, Addie.
My voice cracks, shatters.
I love you so much.
She tries to answer, but she can't speak. It's all just choking, gurgling now. It's all pain. I look away, close my eyes, and pull. There's a moment of pressure when the blades slide through the skin, through muscle. Blood pours across my fingers. Warm, awful. My big sister shudders, exhales the last breath she'll ever take. And the scissors slip from my fingers. I don't look at her. I can't. I'm telling myself that if I see her, it becomes real. It's just a bad dream. That I'll wake up tomorrow and apologize to Dad for ever telling on him and convince Addie to do the same, and things will go back to normal. I lay down with my back to her, pull her limp arms across me and force a smile.
Good night, Addie. See you in the morning, okay?
She doesn't answer. She never will. Not now. Not ever again. The living room fades, growing fuzzy around the edges as the memory dissolves. The blood. Father. Adelaide. All of it dissolves as the void rushes back. Only it's changed now. Gone is the forest of hanging faces. Gone are the whispers. It's just me now. Me and my guilt and my grief and the knowledge I've spent 40 years running from. It wasn't the no thing that killed my sister. It wasn't Zipperjaw. It was me. I sink to my knees in the emptiness, hands covering my face.
I killed her,
I whisper.
I killed Adelaide.
The words should feel like release, like confession. Instead, they feel like swallowing glass. A light flickers on in the darkness, soft, focused. It illuminates a small circular table that wasn't there a moment ago. Victorian style, ornate legs. And resting on top, bathed in that impossible spotlight, is my clipboard. The report on top reads, "The No Thing Massacres." My handwriting, my research. 30 years of obsessive documentation. I flip the first page, then the second, the third. And with each page, something inside me twists, tightens like a noose. It's all there. Every detail I've been cataloging for decades. Every pattern I've been tracking. Every witness statement and crime scene photo and autopsy report. All of it pointing to a truth I was too terrified to see. The burlap mask, the googly eyes, the zipper smile, forcing victims to see the truth beneath the masks their loved ones wore, to taste their lies, just like Adelaide tried to make Father taste his. The victims, always people who hurt someone, abusers, liars, the cruel, just like Father. My hands start shaking. The clipboard slips from my grip, papers scattering across the void. Only the story doesn't change. The conclusion is inescapable, undeniable. The No Thing was only ever a doll. It didn't possess Adelaide. It didn't make her carve off our father's face. Her trauma did. It was her desperation to save us from him that broke her. And I couldn't accept it. That's what it comes down to in the end. That's the rot at the center of everything. I'd wrapped myself in Adelaide's dead arms, and when I finally woke up, hours later, cold and alone and surrounded by corpses, I couldn't accept what I'd done. So I rewrote it. Built an entire mythology inside my head. Evil dolls, twisted monsters, the No Thing that orchestrated everything. Anything to avoid the simple, unbearable truth that I killed Adelaide. That I held the scissors. That I made the cut. Me. And my grief, my guilt, my 6-year-old mind shattering under the weight of it all made it manifest, made the lie real. I didn't just create a story to hide behind. I created a monster. One that has been killing for 40 years, wearing my sister's tragedy like a costume, spreading the same mercy kill horror I inflicted on Adelaide to dozens of families across this godforsaken town. It wasn't my father's torment that birthed Zipperjaw. It was mine. All mine. Oh God, I whisper, sinking deeper into the void.
Adelaide, what did I do to you?
The answer comes in the form of 100 grasping hands. They erupt from the darkness, cold, clammy, desperate, snatching at my legs, my arms, my throat, clawing, dragging. I don't fight. After all, this is my monster, my guilt given form and fed on 40 years of denial. So if it wants to drag me into whatever fresh hell awaits, then I figure I've earned it. I close my eyes, take a breath, and for the first time, surrender. My body slams into something solid, skidding across broken glass and splintered wood before coming to a halt against the far wall. Pain explodes through my ribs, my shoulder, my already battered skull. Groaning, I force my eyes open. The hospital room. Rain lashes through the shattered window. The storm howls. The fluorescent lights flicker weakly overhead, struggling to stay alive. Zipperjaw. Guess my boogeyman spat me back out.
It's time.
The voice is distant, dreamy. Jonah's standing beside the broken window, staring across the darkened countryside with a look of eerie contentment.
Accept the scissors. Remove my mask.
I grunt, forcing myself upright. I spit out a mouthful of blood.
No thanks, I'll pass.
His head snaps toward me.
But it's the rules.
He growls. I wipe my mouth with the back of my hand.
No shit.
He takes a step toward me, then another. That demented smile twitching back onto his face like a seizure.
We'll see what Zipperjaw says about that.
His eyes shift, gazing past me, over my shoulder, like he's waiting for the monster to intervene, to make me turn his face into a midnight snack. Only it won't. It'll follow the rules, same as I will. And I turn toward it, the 8-foot nightmare, the patchwork horror, my sister's tortured memory given legs. And there's nothing there, just rain, wind, and swirling shadows. A hand tugs at mine, small, gentle. I look down and see a child, barely tall enough to reach my waist. They're wearing a burlap mask with googly eyes, a zipper sewed where a mouth should be. In one hand, they're carrying a raggedy doll. In the other, a pair of purple scissors with gleaming stars. My chest aches.
Oh,
I say quietly.
there you are.
They hand the scissors to me, then stand there, waiting, swaying as if punch-drunk, humming my mother's lullaby through what sounds like a collapsed throat. I kneel so that we're eye level. Meanwhile, Jonah's still pleading with Zipperjaw, begging for the chance to die, saying he has to because it's the rules, and he's only halfway wrong. Zipperjaw does have rules. It appears at midnight, the same time I watched my sister feed father his face. It also makes you destroy the person you care about most, just as I murdered my sister. And then it soothes that guilt through visions and whispers, the same as I did by rewriting my own history. And at the end of it all, it offers you release. A means of escaping the cycle of suffering for good. A blade, a throat. The same release I gave my sister on the living room floor. And then it moves on to the next poor soul, and the next, entering their dreams, passing Zipperjaw's curse, spreading its horror like rot, all thanks to rules born from 6-year-old me's broken psyche. But I'm not 6 anymore. My grip tightens around the scissors. An hour ago, I didn't care about anyone. Adelaide was dead. My career had been cremated. My body was being devoured from the inside out by cancer. And I spent most of my days either drunk or wishing I was. I was a ghost in every way that mattered, and alive in every way that didn't. That made Jonah my perfect VIP. He was the only person who could give me the monster that had stolen everything from me. The only person that could finally give me the revenge I'd dreamed of every night for 40 years. Or, that's what I told myself. But now I see things clearly. There's somebody in this room I care about more than Jonah. Someone I care about more than revenge. More about than anything. I grip Zipperjaw by the shoulder, holding it steady as I bring the scissors to its mask. My voice cracks.
I'm sorry. I should have done this a long time ago.
Jonah's shouting, moving toward us in a slosh of rainwater.
Stop! What are you doing?
But he won't interfere. He can't. My blades find the edge of the mask, pressing against the coarse fabric. Jonah collapses behind me, wailing in grief. But Zipperjaw doesn't pull away, doesn't fight, just keeps humming as I carve a line down the center of its face. The mask splits. It falls away in 2 pieces, fluttering to the floor like dead moths. And there,
Tommy?
oh God, she's just like I remember her. Before the beating, before the worst night of our lives. Adelaide, my sister. She's standing there, blinking up at me.
That is you, isn't it?
Her voice is small, confused. She's rubbing her eyes like she just woke up from a long nap. I try to answer, but all that comes out is a choked sob. She tilts her head, red hair tumbling over her shoulder, studying my face with almond eyes.
You're all old and stuff, though.
She says it like it's the strangest thing in the world, like I'm the anomaly. Then she yawns, long, jaw-cracking, and stretches her small arms above her head.
Must have been asleep for ages. Yeah,
I manage, voice breaking. I pull her into my arms like if I hold her hard enough, she'll stay solid, stay real, and the tears come in a flood I can't control.
I missed you so much. I missed you too.
She murmurs into my shoulder.
I've been having the worst dreams.
My whole body shakes.
I know, Addie, and I'm so sorry.
She pulls back slightly, looking up at me with pure, childlike confusion.
You don't have to be sorry. They were just dreams.
My jaw hangs open, searching for words, an explanation.
Who's that?
She asks suddenly, attention already drifting the way only a 10-year-old's can. I glance over my shoulder at Jonah. He's slumped against the wall, chest heaving like a furnace, expression caught somewhere between disbelief and abject horror.
That's Jonah,
I say, my voice thick.
He sort of reminds me of you.
Adelaide perks up.
Wait, is he your son? What? No, definitely not. Your friend then?
she decides. And before I can stop her, she's already waving at him enthusiastically.
Nice to meet you, Jonah. My name's Adelaide.
My stomach sinks. He's biting into his lip hard enough it's bleeding, his hands balling into fists at his side. The way he looks is furious, like he can't believe this 10-year-old girl made him eat his father's face.
He seems angry.
Adelaide whispers, pressing herself closer to my side.
Did I do something wrong?
I swallow.
No, he didn't do anything wrong. I did.
What do you mean?
How to explain this? How do I tell her what I put her through?
I mean that. Don't.
Jonah's voice cuts like a knife. He's stalking toward us, slippers crunching over broken glass and splintered wood. He grabs me around the arm and hauls me to my feet. He pulls me away from Adelaide, who stands watching us with worried eyes.
What do you think you're...
Jonah jabs a finger against my chest, cutting me off.
Don't you dare start telling the truth.
He hisses, his face inches from mine.
Not now, not to her.
He grabs me by my tie, squeezing like he wants to throttle me.
I saw it. Your memories. When I was part of that thing. Only glimpses, fragments, but enough.
His eyes bore into mine.
Enough to know what really happened.
Laughter. We both turn, and Adelaide's playing with the No-Thing doll. She's sloshing it through the rainwater, pretending it's dancing. Jonah's expression softens.
Your sister doesn't need the truth, Tommy. She needs to rest.
My throat goes dry.
I know that.
Then do what you should have done 40 years ago.
He gives me a small push toward her.
Say goodbye.
I'm blinking against tears that won't stop coming. This is fear, I realize. The real kind. And it's so much worse than any boogeyman I've ever faced. I make my way back to her with shoulders slumped, but she doesn't acknowledge me as I sit down beside her. Her attention is on the No-Thing. Only the laughter is gone. She's just staring at it now, her small fingers tracing its zipper smile.
I can't remember things very well.
She says quietly.
Did I save you?
My chest tightens.
From Dad, you mean?
She nods, still not meeting my eyes. It's like she's afraid of what she'll see there. Afraid I'll tell her she failed.
Of course you saved me.
I tell her, my voice raw with emotion.
You were so brave, Addie. Braver than I could ever be.
And she looks up at me, smiles, then throws her arms around me, squeezing with everything she has. And I hold her too, wishing I never had to let go.
It's late.
I whisper into her red hair, fighting back the tears.
You should probably get some rest. The nice kind, without the bad dreams.
She yawns deeply.
I guess I am still pretty tired.
Her voice is already getting softer, drowsier. I nod, not trusting myself to speak.
I'm really glad you made a friend.
She murmurs, words slurring together at the edges now.
Will you tell me more about him in the morning?
Tears stream from my eyes.
Sure.
Tommy?
Yeah.
I love you.
A pause, then another long yawn.
Like a whole bunch.
My vision blurs.
I love you too, Adelaide.
She giggles.
Why's that funny?
You never call me Adelaide.
She says, her voice already fading.
It sounds so serious.
Well, now that I'm an adult, I have to be serious. It's part of the rules.
She throws back her head and laughs. And for the first time since I was 6 years old, I'm laughing too. Not the bitter, hollow laughter I've so often worn as armor, but the real kind, with real joy, with genuine smiles, where your eyes scrunch shut and you're doubled over and your stomach hurts and you can't breathe, but you don't care because it feels so good to be this happy. And I open my eyes and she's gone. My arms are empty, my heart full of ache. The No-Thing doll lies on the floor where she dropped it, googly eyes staring up at nothing. No longer her anchor to this world, no longer her prison.
Goodbye, Addie.
I whisper softly. The wind howls, the rain falls, and for the first time in my life, I let my sister go. Jonah's standing beside the broken window, making it a point to stare outside while I wiped the tears from my eyes. My pocket watch chimes softly, a notification I haven't heard in years. I pull it free with trembling hands. Case number 02042, The No Thing. Lead Inquisitor, Thomas C. Grieve. Status, closed. The text fades. Then fresh words blossom across the glass like ink blots. Authorization level, restored. Reinstatement, ending. Next active case, snippety snap. My fist closes around the watch. 30 years. 30 fucking years I've been screaming into the void that Zipperjaw was real, that this town was bleeding, that I wasn't crazy. Now that I finally found a scrap of peace, they want me back. I snap it shut and shove it back inside my pocket.
Is she?
Jonah's voice cracks, pulling my attention. He's staring at the floor, at all that's left of my sister. A patchwork doll. The No Thing drowning in rainwater.
She's gone,
I croak. I bend down, picking up the No Thing. The fabric is cold, waterlogged. It's just a toy now, but then, it's all it ever was.
She was just a kid.
He whispers.
A kid trapped in a nightmare.
Yes, my nightmare. The thought sits in my chest like a stone. It was me. I created Zipperjaw with my grief, my guilt, my inability to accept what I'd done. For 40 years, my sister was trapped in a hell of my making, forced to relive our trauma through strangers, spreading that pain like a disease.
I killed my father.
Jonah croaks, his voice hollow.
Because of her. Because of what you made her into.
He's got his hands wrapped around himself, shivering. Yet, despite it, his eyes are boiling. His voice rises, each word sharper than the last.
She made me eat his face. Your sister, Zipperjaw. It made me carve and chew and swallow my father's.
He doubles over suddenly, dry heaving on the floor.
I can still taste them.
He chokes out.
Do you have any idea what that's like?
No. I was lucky enough to be spared that particular piece of trauma. My lips part, then they close again. For the first time in my life, I'm finding myself speechless. I'm standing there, hair mopped across my forehead, suit soaked from the downpour, watching this kid shatter in real time. This is the part where functional people would offer comfort. Maybe tell him it wasn't his fault, that he's a victim, that time heals all wounds and whatever other useless platitudes humans say when they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But I've never been much good at being human.
None of it goes away.
I say quietly.
Not the taste, not the texture of the skin. You'll remember it for the rest of your life, no matter how badly you want to forget. And even if you do manage to repress it, it'll find you. Always.
Our worst memories are nothing if not persistent. His face crumples, horrified.
Then what's the point?
The point?
Why didn't you just let that thing end us?
His voice breaks into stammering sobs.
Why save me if I'm just going to feel like this?
He gestures broadly at himself, at the tears pouring down his cheeks, at the stitches in his throat, at the way his legs are trembling and his hands are shaking, and I turn away. What do I even tell the kid? After 30 years chasing nightmares, you'd think I'd have some wisdom to offer, but I don't. All I have is guilt, regret.
Truth is, I don't know why I saved you. Why I tried to save anyone.
My teeth find my lip, biting down, grounding myself in the pain.
My sister tried to save me, and look where that got Adelaide. Then she tried to save all those other people, because she believed so deeply that abusers like our father needed to be seen for what they were. And look where that got them. Dead. Butchered. My sister became exactly what she was trying to stop.
The words hang in the air between us.
So that's it?
Jonah spits, his voice rising again.
That's your big lesson? Don't try to help people because you'll just fuck it up worse?
No.
He stares, waiting for me to explain. but I'm still searching for the words. Or maybe I'm just searching for the courage to finally speak them. My hand slips inside my jacket, feeling the coarseness of the No-Thing doll, tracing the coldness of its metal smile.
Adelaide was 10 years old when she tried to save the world,
I say slowly.
She didn't have an armory of occult weapons, or decades of training, or the experience to know that you can't hurt people into being better versions of themselves, or...
My voice trails off, uncertain. Jonah glares, lightning flashing across his features.
What's your point? My point is that you were right, and I was wrong. Sometimes the only way to help people is by being there, showing them they aren't alone in their nightmare, by proving that it's possible to be broken and still be worth something.
Thunder rolls in the distance. He stares at me like he's waiting for the other shoe to drop, the bait and switch, the sardonic deflection, anything.
You saved my life tonight, kid. If you're up for it, I think we could save more lives too.
Jonah laughs.
Come on, just look at us, man. Look at what we've done. We aren't heroes. We're about as unqualified as it gets.
Maybe that's what makes us qualified. Someone has to break the cycle. Might as well be the people who know what it's like to be broken.
Jonah's quiet for a long moment. Outside, sirens are wailing, getting closer. We've got maybe 5 minutes before this place is swarming with cops. I grab my briefcase, snap it shut.
You've got two choices,
I tell him, moving toward the window.
You can stay, face trial, spend the next 40 years explaining to psychiatrists why you ate your father's face. Let them pump you full of pills and lock you in a room and tell you that you're sick, you're broken,
Or...
He interrupts. I pause at the window, look back.
Or you accept that the old you is gone. You come with me. We build you a new life, a new identity. We show up for people when their monsters come calling. And maybe we manage to stop a few kids from becoming us.
Jonah looks outside, at the parade of police cars riding toward us through the haze, then back at me.
I need to know something first,
He says.
You can know it in the car. We don't have time for...
He grabs me around the arm.
Be honest. Do you want to be partners? Or do you just want another scapegoat you can sacrifice when the time comes?
The question stings. I could lie to him here. I'm good at it. It'd be so easy to prattle off some mindless drivel about building trust and being stronger together and all that other fairy tale bullshit people can't get enough of. But he asked for honesty.
I've spent my whole life chasing my sister's ghost. And now that she's gone, I feel empty. Like something's missing.
I face the window, cold rain needling my face.
Maybe it's just that I'm too chicken shit to die alone in a motel room watching reruns of Jeopardy. Or maybe I really do want a partner. Not because I want a scapegoat, though that is a nice backup plan, but because misery loves company. And if I'm going to spend my last few months getting my face rearranged by nightmares, I might as well drag someone else down with me.
He almost laughs.
Jesus, that's your pitch?
I hack a bloody cough into my sleeve, shoot him a grim smile.
How's this? You already ate your dad's face. How much worse can it get?
For a long moment, he just stands there. Then he shakes his head, crosses to the locker with an exhausted sigh and starts pulling out clothes.
Why do I get the feeling I'm gonna regret this?
Because you probably will.
He meets my eyes as he pulls on his hoodie.
If we're doing this, I've got one condition.
This isn't a negotiation.
But it is a partnership,
He says, stressing the word.
So from here on out, no more masks, no more lies, no more bullshit, got it? We give each other the real versions of ourselves. That means the good, the bad, and the absolutely fucking hideous too.
My throat tightens. He's asking for something I've never given anyone. Not my psychiatrist, not the order, not even myself. But maybe that's the point. Maybe that's how you break a cycle. By refusing to perpetuate it. By choosing honest agony over comfortable lies. Outside, tires are screeching to a halt at the other end of the building. Doors clunk open and shut. There's a crackle of radio chatter as cops start moving toward the entrance.
Fine,
I say quickly, swinging a leg over the windowsill, icy rain soaking through my pants.
Whatever you need, kid. Just know that the real me is pretty fucked up.
Don't worry.
He says, following me onto the fire escape with a weary grin.
So is the fake you, Tommy.
And together we descend into the storm, into the dark, into whatever comes next. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the story, be sure to follow or subscribe and share the show with a fellow horror fan. I'll see you in the next one.